604 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane off and running. Brian here with you. John LaBeouf producing, starting you off at 78 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Scorcher. We got a busy Wednesday show lined up for you. Welcome aboard, everybody. We are ready to rock and roll. We've got you covered for the next 3 hours. Within those next 3 hours, we're going to hear from attorney Franz Borghardt coming up, a little legally served. We are going to hear from Jill Kidder, head of Visit Baton Rouge. Is the bowlers done? They're packing up, going home? We will hear from the folks over at Forum 225. We'll hear from WBRZ's chief meteorologist, Dr. Josh Eachus. We will hear from Hunt Palmer, who is in Atlanta for SEC Media Days, and the folks over at Off the Hook and Ms. Becky Prejean from Dreams Come True are teaming up for something special you'll want to hear about in the 8 o'clock hour. Right now, though, we start off with top stories and trending.
Number 5.
Baton Rouge is seeing a significant decrease in the number of homicides so far this year from January through the end of June. We saw 43 thus far. That's down 10 from last year's numbers. Going back to 2023, we saw 2 more by this time at 45. The number was at 54 for the first half of 2022 and a whopping 60 for the first half of 2021.
Number 4.
Shell Catalyst and Technologies has completed Project Blue Cat. This is a $121 million expansion that gives its Port Allen facility a second world-leading title. Already recognized as the world's largest refining catalyst plant, it is now also the largest hydro-treating catalyst plant on the planet.
Number 3.
One person was injured in a shooting on Highland Road and East Buchanan Street, officials said. The shooting happened in the bottom, around a 2400 block of Highland Road by East Buchanan Street. In fact, if you pull up a map of Baton Rouge where it says the bottom on the map, this is like 1 block over from the first T in the bottom. The person was taken to the hospital in serious condition.
Number 2.
Deputies work with federal authorities on drug busts at 12 different locations across the Baton Rouge area. East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office began investigating a Baton Rouge-based drug trafficking ring group in July. They claim it's tied to the local rap label Major League Entertainment. After conducting surveillance and purchasing crack cocaine from the group, agents identified 12 locations the group allegedly used to store and sell drugs. 6 people were arrested. 2 are still at large.
Number 1.
Holding at 40%. That is where we're at with the possibility of having Dexter in the Gulf by late tonight, early tomorrow. This is a disturbance that started off in the Atlantic. It's been making its way across Florida. Surface observations indicate that a broad area of low pressure continues to move westward across the Florida Panhandle and is producing disorganized shower and thunderstorm activity, mainly south of its center. System is forecast to continue to move westward and could emerge or redevelop over the far northeastern to north central part of the Gulf, reaching the coast of Louisiana by Thursday. Like I said, it's still holding at a 40% chance that it becomes named something. What you got, John?
Well, the Pentagon said Tuesday it is ending the deployment of 2,000 National Guard troops in Los Angeles, accounting for nearly half of the soldiers sent to the city to deal with protests over the Trump administration's immigration crackdown.
So no major mass arrests, and Los Angeles didn't burn down. This
Not any worse than what it is.
But it kind of sounds like they did their job.
Right.
Like all the hyper reaction and overreaction on both sides seems to be, I don't want to say unwarranted, except that I absolutely want to say unwarranted.
Yes, indeed. Hey, add House Speaker Mike Johnson to the list of those calling for transparency on the release of all the Epstein files.
Oh, yeah.
There's no list.
That's what I was told. We were told
There's
last
no
week.
list.
We were told last week there's no client list.
Do you feel like...
Wait. Are you still talking about Jeff Epstein? Are you still talking about that? We're still talking. Are we still doing this?
Yes. I feel like it is so ridiculous when they say that it's not there, that there's no list.
Yeah.
That it just, we've been conditioned to be like, well, there must not be a list.
No.
When
1,000% we know there's a list. 1,000%.
Right.
Nobody believes that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
fake news.
I've got the list right here in my hands. The list.
It's on my desk.
The
There's
list is sitting on Pam Bondi's desk, and then comes back and says there's no list. There's no
Yeah.
list that's been sitting on my desk. So
Yeah. But hey, Mike Johnson saying, hey, let's get it out there.
Let's get it. Yep, let's go. I'm with him.
In other news, as the possibility of a named storm in the Gulf grows, Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple is calling on Louisianans to be prepared.
Yeah, be insurance
Sure.
ready.
Sure.
That was the press release came out yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, talking about being insurance ready. This is something that the insurance commissioner's office has been out in front on for quite some time, if I'm not mistaken. We hear the spots
That's
right here. Make sure you get all your stuff in order. If you be insurance ready, if your home has an insured value of $200,000 with a 5% hurricane deductible, you're going to pay $10,000 out of pocket before insurance coverage takes effect. You're going to want to prepare your property, build out an emergency kit, make an evacuation plan, and then when it comes time, follow the insurance commissioner's office when it comes to filing a claim.
That's right.
611 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Before we take our first break of the morning, I want to remind you about the folks over at NeuroJust. Great new partners over here on Mornings with Brian Halliday. The folks at NeuroJust, they're here to help you with anxiety and depression. Nothing wrong with sitting down and talking to a therapist. But how often does that turn into just a very quick prescription? And when you end up with a quick prescription, do you see diminishing returns? Do you see side effects? Do you see the possibility of addiction on that front? All these things are possible when it comes to traditional therapy that ends up with a script. What does NeuroJust do differently? They do a process called transcranial magnetic stimulation. This is using magnetic pulses to stimulate areas of the brain involved in mood regulation. This is FDA approved. It is non-invasive. It is not painful. If you want to learn more, neurojust.com, NEUROJUST, neurojust.com, and they've got receipts, y'all. 70 to 80% of patients show responses. 60 to 70% show complete remission rates along the way. And like we said, since this is non-invasive, there are no side effects. Neurojust.com. Quick break. Sports is next. You good this morning? You Court TV this morning?
Yeah, I need to leave at 6:50. I'm doing 2 segments of Court TV this
Ooh.
week. Yeah.
Heavy.
So, you remember Nancy Grace?
She's not back, is she?
No, she has her own stuff on like XM.
Okay. What about her?
We'll talk.
On air?
No.
Okay.
Not yet. Who's Rotary today?
I don't remember. me there.
I need to start going.
You do.
I mean, I'm paying for the food and the quality meeting. The quality meeting, just
Dr. Sanchez was awesome.
I missed it. Yeah.
You get the Nussmeier cut out of the sports out of today's folder. Schwarber. How about it for the National League last night, y'all? Major League Baseball All-Star Game is in the books for 2025. What a show put on by both sides. 9 innings go by, 6-6 is your score right there. For the first time ever, we see a home run swing-off as opposed to extra innings. Nobody wants to play extra innings in an all-star game. You don't want to burn arms on the pitcher's mound, run further risk of injury and whatnot. So you go to a swing-off, home run swing-off. Oh, by the way, before we got to the extra innings, awesome job by the National League to put up a 6-0 lead. Terrible job by the National League to give up a 6-0 lead or 6-run lead to force the swing off. Pete Alonso parked a 3-run home run. I believe it was in the 6th. But it all came down to Kyle Schwarber in the swing off. National League is trailing. I believe it was 3-1 in the swing off when Schwarber stepped in. And let's just hear the full, minute, 3 seconds that he stood in the batter's box.
Through you. Schwarber in the air to center field, headed towards the wall, and dead center. That's huge for the National League. They're within 1. So there you go. You said if he could get it on his first swing, and he did. Oh! Schwarber's in the All-Star game. Oh! Tied at 3.
That's MVP material if he gets the 3rd one right here. This guy, if he stopped playing, he'll be a softball superstar.
Pretty darn good baseball superstar. AL rallied in the game. NL has rallied in the swing. Oh! With the hat trick. Look out, Chop House. National League takes the lead 4-3.
Unbelievable.
And 4-3 was where it would stay in the swing off. So 6-6 in the game, 4-3 National League in the swing off. So the NL gets the win overall. Meanwhile, if you watched, you saw what went down to start off the game. How about our boy Paul Skeens pitching for the National League, getting the start for his 2nd year in a row? He threw 1 inning, struck out 2. Threw 1 inning, faced 3, struck out 2. Not bad. Not bad, Paul Skeens. Very well done. Major League Baseball will pick back up. I believe games resume. It's not today, to be sure. I believe they'll resume on Friday with a full slate, if I'm not mistaken. All right, let's move over from, how long do we have? We got a minute and a half? Okay. SEC Media Days, something I wanted to listen to yesterday, or I wanted to share with y'all yesterday that actually happened on Monday. Let's take you back to LSU's day at SEC Media Days. Matt Moscona, host of After Further Review, I asked him about this when he was on yesterday. He sat down with Garrett Nussmeier, and y'all, my level of confidence in this LSU football team, based off of this one question and answer, is through the roof. Nussmeier gets a little bit of experience last year, a lot of experience last year, and threw a couple picks here and there. Matt Moscona asked him about one. Listen to this answer.
If I said, all right, Garrett, you get in the time machine, you can go back into that moment, that 3rd down play.
Yeah.
And you could do the play over. What would you do?
I probably would have ran, or I would have kept my eyes outside and taken the 1st down right there to Xavion. I've watched that play probably 1,000 times. Xavion broke back down the sideline to me. It would have been right there for the 1st down. And I mean, it goes back into what I've been trying to work on. People have asked me today so many times, what are you trying to work on? And, obviously the turnovers is one of the main things people are going to bring up. And the thing is, there's a separation of turnovers, right? I'm an anticipation passer. I am a drop back passer. I'm going to throw interceptions. That is a part of the game. The problem is where I need to improve on were the interceptions that didn't need to happen. They were forced errors, just like that play against A&M, where I'm trying to make a play or I'm trying to do something outside of what I should be doing, you know? And so plays like that, it also ties into what I've been working on so much about using my feet more. You know, it's times where the play breaks down. I should just get back to the line of scrimmage. I should just go get 3 yards and slide. I should just maybe more, you know. And instead, I've tried to make throws or do things that I shouldn't be doing, and that's led to turnovers. And those are the ones that I've really tried to eliminate out of my game.
Amazing what a teacher experience is. SEC meeting today is Alabama will be up first, Mississippi State up second. Billy Napier in Florida hit the podium third, and things will wrap up today with Oklahoma. Here's the Fox Business Report. Oh, did we have a second topic? Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you talking about on Court TV?
You know what we could talk about is the Zachary body camera stuff. Zachary police. You didn't see that story? Where they had a BRPD officer that was accused of possible DWI, and Bess from WBRZ made a public records request for the video. And the video was like blurred out completely. That should be a story you can probably catch up on pretty quickly.
Have you seen the BRPD body camera one with the guy with the scissors? You want to talk about that one?
Sure, whatever you want. As long as you set it up, I can go from there.
Okay.
Chicken delicious.
No, Cluckin' Delicious.
Cluckin' delicious.
Yes.
Have you been yet?
No. I'm good.
Are you?
No. I'm sure your fried chicken's better.
I'm willing to try it.
Oh, it tastes like fried chicken.
I'm convinced they're putting heroin in the chicken at churches on government, because that line.
It's always been like that.
Dude,
I don't understand it.
Dude, they're putting something in there, because like I'm a Dollar General kind of guy, and
Yeah.
I'll go to the Dollar General next door, and I'm like, what are they giving away there?
I don't know. But that line coming out of churches on government looks like trying to get into the Superdome parking lot. The lot that's at the Dome.
Yeah.
Yeah, traffic time. Let's hit it real quick. Really not a whole lot to report unless you're on I-110 northbound. In fact, let's go ahead and start right there. On the big board, what's being reported is an accident 110 northbound near Convention. However, on the map, it's looking like there's the closure is for the 110 off-ramp by Florida. So long and the short of it is 110 northbound is going to be jammed up through downtown Baton Rouge for about 4 or 5 blocks worth. Outside of that, there's no real problems on the interstates. 12 west coming in from Livingston, 10 west coming in from Ascension, 10 east coming in from West Baton Rouge. They all look good. 110 southbound looks good to start things off. And surface streets, there are no accidents to report right now. So our only problem right now is I-110 northbound in between Convention and Florida. That's your look at traffic from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. Congresswoman Julia Letlow co-sponsoring a constitutional amendment banning the burning of the American flag. Louisiana Radio Network will have the latest on that for you in 7 minutes from right now. Right now, you know how we do. It's time for a little Legally Served. Just say, Franz.
Another week.
Yeah.
Another legally served.
Yeah.
Is it savage to arrest somebody at a convention for what they're doing? Like, is it savage?
If you are at a convention for police officers,
Right, and you're gonna police chiefs, and you're gonna show up to the police chief. Is that savage? You know where he's gonna be.
It's a bold move.
I mean, you know where that chief is gonna be.
Yeah, you do. That's where we're starting off this morning, and there's so many different questions. There's so many different things to unpack from this story. Yes, the move is strong. The move is very, very strong. The reaction is going to be even stronger.
So you have this conference going on in Baton Rouge.
Yep.
For police chiefs.
Yep.
The feds show up,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, and I can't remember, where's he a police chief out of?
That's what I was pulling back up. Oakdale's police chief, Chad Doyle, was one of 2 men taken into custody at the Louisiana Association of Chiefs of Police at the Crown Plaza in Baton Rouge. Oakdale Ward 5 Marshal Mike Freck Slaney and Forest Hill Police Chief Glenn Dixon were also detained, law enforcement sources said.
So, simultaneous to that, they're doing search warrants. They're executing search warrants of these guys' pads.
Yeah.
Right. And then in the most savage, coldest part of this entire equation, the feds are like, we can't talk about it yet.
So 10 o'clock this morning, there will be there will be a press conference. I know. I've been at this hard trying to line somebody up before the press conference. So
whatever it is, it ain't good.
Yep.
Now, these guys are presumed innocent.
Of course.
They're presumed innocent.
Of course. But number one, when you have orchestrated efforts by the FBI, one tends to believe that they know enough before orchestrating these efforts, before executing these efforts. One tends to believe that they're prepped for the slam dunk ahead of time. Number two, innocent until proven guilty, except when folks are in a position of power and that word malfeasance can rear its ugly head in some way, shape, or form, we tend to glom on very quickly and point fingers.
So I have questions.
Oh.
First question is I've had the feds show up and arrest my clients. I've gotten a call, hey, is your guy willing to come in?
Okay.
Is your guy willing to turn himself in? Yeah. This guy's a chief of police at a conference in Baton Rouge.
For chiefs of police.
So maybe, like, how did this go down? Did they, show up in the middle of a seminar? Sir, I need you to come with me.
Bro wasn't at GalaxyCon.
Right. So
he wasn't seeing the 30-year reunion of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Shreveport.
Maybe pick up the phone and say, hey, why don't you step outside?
Yeah.
I don't know how it went down. I don't know how it went down. I just...
Was it like that ballroom scene in Fletch?
Oh, man. Savage. It's never good when a chief of police gets arrested. Let's start there.
Okay,
it's never good.
No.
It's probably, you use the word malfeasance. What kind of malfeasance?
Malfeasance covers so much ground.
Is it, and Franz has no insight on this. This is what could it be?
Mm-hmm.
Money?
Yeah.
Taking money that wasn't yours.
Yeah.
Moving money around that's not yours.
Yeah. Smashing the evidence locker.
Taking stuff out of the evidence locker.
Yeah.
Selling the stuff that's in the evidence locker. Yeah. Not saying that's what he did.
No.
Not saying that's what he did.
Until the press conference, nothing is confirmed.
I have the right to think the worst, right?
Yes.
Right?
And isn't that where our minds go? That's the angle that I had this morning.
Well,
isn't that where our minds go?
It doesn't help when you arrest him at the chief conference. Come on.
What's the rest of the room doing there?
Giggling? No. He's not. Oh, they're not there for me.
That's the question. How many small town chiefs of police have got their own you-know-what going on? And they were ducking like they didn't want to be called on for homework.
Listen, it's kind of like when Chris Nakamoto's SUV pulls up to my office and I'm like, I don't think I did anything, but I'm lowering the window shades a little bit, locking the door. I don't think I did anything wrong, but so yeah, this is no bueno. This is not good. Not good.
Earlier in the day, an FBI spokesperson said that the Bureau conducted court-authorized law enforcement activity in the capital city and Oakdale, a city in Allen Parish.
Search warrants.
Yes. So, court-authorized law enforcement activity. That would be your search warrant right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We
the fact
had
that-
the right to do this.
But we're in two spots at once.
Do you
They
think
They didn't come get him and then go raid his pads.
So
right? They did this simultaneously.
So that's the segue.
And I want to break it right there. We'll pick back up on it. Got a couple of other stories to cover as well. He's attorney Franz Borghardt. We do Legally Served every Wednesday. Right now, here's news.
I'll tell you what the fascination is. There's a list.
Love me some Ginger Z. No, those don't work.
The speaker does. We learned this morning the speaker very much works. Blaring. Yeah. American Idol couple shot to death.
Imagine
Homicide.
that. A lot of instant fame and adulation, and it disappears, and then they can't handle the whatever. Yeah, imagine that.
So, I know you're going to have her on to talk about the American flag.
Next Wednesday. I am one of the few conservatives who believes that burning the flag is protected speech. It's disgusting.
Right. I guess
it's absolutely disgusting, which is why we need to protect it.
I guess my question is this still a problem?
It's another good. Well, yes, lately it is.
Okay.
But it's one of those rare times where, like, okay, Congresswoman Letlow's take is, I respect our freedom so much. I respect the symbol of our freedom so much
That I'm going to protect
that I
it.
want to limit your freedom.
I'd like to be a fly on the wall for some of the behind the scenes conversations with like Congress people and staff. Like, Congresswoman, you do realize that, like, when you say it out loud like that, it's I want to make this law. I mean, yeah, Congresswoman, but I just, like,
kill the mics.
first time.
You watch Young Guns. By the way, good morning, Christy. Welcome in, sweetheart.
First time?
How is it the first time you watched Young Guns?
It just was.
They already
Like a
did.
number 3? A number
But
3?
they're making another sequel.
Just say Young Guns 2 was like in like 91 or something.
All right, if I'm being honest, I kind of forgot about the sequel.
Yeah.
But they're, apparently working on a new one. Or at least got the green light.
I saw the new Superman movie.
How was that?
Awesome.
Man, almost
Really?
went
Took the
yesterday, man.
Took the boy. It was
1990, excuse me, sorry.
if you like a James Gunn movie, you're going to be happy.
Yeah, man.
If you
my
don't like
brother said it
James
was
Gunn,
awesome.
yeah, you're not going to be happy.
Dude, I asked him yesterday because we went to see How to Train Your Dragon yesterday, And I was like, you know what? I might do 2 movies in one day.
Was it
And I
good?
like,
Was it?
I enjoyed it.
I mean, I like the original.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, same. Yeah, really big on it. But yeah, man, I was like, maybe 2 movies in one day. I was gonna go see Superman last night, and I decided not to. Dang.
After August 1st, I will be going to the movies. I don't like to go to the movies unless I'm taking James for something that he wants to see because it's still all larger than life.
What does he want to see?
Wait, like the last time I went to the movies, we saw Sonic 3.
He is a
That's
Sonic fan.
That's a good.
Yeah.
He is a Sonic
solid-
fan.
Yeah.
That was good.
I'll probably take Fish to see Fantastic Four
Oh, for
because
sure.
he's asked about it.
Okay.
And then he asked about the new Jurassic Park movie, and I was like, no, sir. No.
I want James to see the original Jurassic Park.
Is he old enough? And that's
You know,
not a
he's-
judgy question.
No, no,
That's a
He was good with Michael Keaton's Batman.
okay.
So I would put that on par.
I realized I was a mature adult, or I'm trying to be a mature adult, when I started asking questions like, "Is it appropriate for my son to watch this movie?" Versus,
Oh, James and I have watched Spaceballs.
that, meh.
Oh, no.
He's
Go back
ready.
and watch it
Yeah.
again without Fish before you think if you can watch it with Fish. I will say this, though. He turns around after watching Spaceballs and he's watching something with Christy, and he called out an actor for breaking the fourth wall. He's like, "Hey, I broke the fourth wall." He's explaining to Christy what the fourth wall is, and I'm like, "That's my boy." Go ahead. I know.
Oh, then he's definitely ready for Jurassic Park. See, but I heard this new Jurassic Park leans more into the horror realm.
They have like a mutant T-Rex,
Yeah, right.
like
That's-
mutant
yeah.
dinosaurs.
It's more like yeah.
What?
I've heard it compared to like Alien, in a sense. You know what I mean? So this one has that horror element.
I was content with you bred raptors. You bred raptors here. Must go faster. Must go faster.
But yeah, Superman's definitely on my list, man. Definitely want to see that.
Coming up on 637 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Don't forget Brian's Big Adventure coming up. I hate referring to myself in the third person, but that's what it's called. Brian's Big Adventure. We're hitting the road in an RV, courtesy of the folks over at Miller's RV. Ton of content going to be posted on Talk 107.3 social media. Hopefully, it's completely unentertaining, because it's only going to be entertaining if I'm an absolute buffoon. So, but there'll be a couple cooking videos, taking the kids fishing. We're hitting the road in an RV, courtesy of Louisiana Travel Association and Miller's RV. Extended weekend going on. Going to celebrate a little bit what Louisiana has to offer on the staycation front.
If you don't make shirts, if you don't have T-shirts for your family on this, don't even do it. Don't waste my time and the viewers' time. If you don't have T-shirts, don't waste our time. And by the way,
I don't know why I let you in this building.
for the record, Brian Haldane, the more you talk about yourself in the third person, I assure you it becomes much easier.
It's you. Wait, no. Are you telling me there was ever a time where it was difficult for you?
Like many things, it's like riding a bike. The more you do it, you know.
No.
So, when we last segment, we were talking about an FBI raid at a police, not a raid, an arrest made at a police chief conference in Baton Rouge of a police chief in
Yes.
Oakdale, and simultaneously they're doing a search warrant
Back in Oakdale. Oakdale's police chief here in Baton Rouge, raiding his crib back in Oakdale.
So if you're law enforcement and you're like, man, Franz is really being sympathetic to this police chief about getting arrested at the conference, let me play the part of law enforcement for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you arrest a chief of police when he's out of town in Baton Rouge and execute a search warrant in Oakdale at the same time? Why? Destruction of evidence.
Yes.
Right.
That's why, because if you arrest him first, you have that possibility.
Like he's flushing whatever
Because-
down the whatever. And
Because what stood out to me in the story was 2 other people were detained.
that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because if you arrest the chief and you've got the marshal sitting next to him who doesn't get arrested, he's sending out the text right away, burn it all down.
I don't know what this chief is accused of doing. I'm going to use the word misbehaving.
Yeah.
Misbehaving.
Yeah.
So, and I will tell you, based on my Franz Borghardt does a little bit of federal work, third person.
Mhm.
And I will tell you, whatever's coming ain't good. Now, We have learned
from a content perspective, it's gonna be awesome.
Right. Well, we've learned from the Diddy trial that just because the feds come at you
Okay,
doesn't mean you're automatically going to get a conviction.
I had that in my notes as well, because when you put up these kinds of shock and awe tactics, and let's call them that, if they arrested him just quietly on the sly, we've got breakout sessions coming up after we take a 10-minute coffee break, guys, let's keep it to 10, please. We want to stay on schedule. And then he walks out in the hallway at the Crown Plaza, and then they arrest him there. Hey, Chief, come over here, please. Yeah. And then once he steps outside, cuffs on him, he goes. That's the end of it.
It was quiet. It was always going to make the news.
Right.
It's just, think about the way you saw this in the media.
Right.
Arrested at conference of chiefs. My knee jerk was, did they arrest more than one? I literally was trying to, it was clickbait. It was clickbait. But I'm like, how many chiefs did they arrest? Was there something going on? The feds have a ridiculous.
Wait, I want to be fair to the BRZ staff, though.
I didn't say WBRZ.
Well, okay, so yes, every news outlet out there, the content is so salacious, it's going to be clickbait, and there's no way around it not being clickbait.
Let's be clear. I don't have a problem with clickbait.
Oh, I do.
I strive to be clickbait.
Well, we might have different definitions of what it is. But
fair. Point is. Whatever's coming, 10 o'clock today.
Mm-hmm. U.S. Attorney in Lafayette.
Ooh, I like the Western District of the Federal Western District, which is where the Lafayette Courthouse is. I like them. They're good. This is going to be good. Whatever it is, probably give us something to talk about next week.
Almost certainly give us something to talk about next week. The bluster and show of force and shock and awe and all that. Let's continue down that path before we shift to our other topic. Now
we don't play.
Well, but comparison to the Diddy trial there, we saw all kinds of headlines. We saw all kinds of clickbait, all kinds of salaciousness, and we got a big nothing.
I can't tell you the name of the chief of Oakdale, but I know that the chief of Oakdale was arrested at a Chiefs conference.
Right.
Diddy, I mean, what was the most sensational?
By the way, it's Chad Doyle.
Yeah, Chad got arrested. What was the most salacious part of the Diddy arrest? Baby oil.
Baby oil.
Baby oil. Wasn't the guns.
Right.
Because everybody kind of accepted, he's not really, I mean, the guns were in a secure, safe kind of thing going on. Like that. Baby oil.
Yeah.
Not just baby oil. Massive quantities. He buys it in bulk.
Right.
He goes to Costco.
And that's where it becomes clickbaity.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Got 8 minutes.
Yeah. What's enough time? BRPD body camera footage comes out Friday evening. Okay. First of all, as an attorney, what's your take on when law enforcement releases things, when officials release something? Because, and I was talking to some folks off the record about this Friday night at the Rougarou game, no less. And they were a little bit disappointed that it came out on a Friday night. And I'm of the opinion that
there's never a good time.
Well, okay, but there used to be something that was considered take out the garbage time. If
Right.
you put out something after noon on a Friday, or more importantly, after 3 p.m. on a Friday, nobody reads the paper on Saturday morning. But I'm of the opinion we live in a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week news cycle now. All the information is on my phone, no matter when or where it's released. Right.
Forever.
Right. Exactly, Squints. So, yes, I caught that Sandlot reference. But I'm of the opinion that there is no longer a take out the garbage time. We're ever present now.
I will agree with you that there's never a good time to release something. And by the way, when a law enforcement agency releases something, they do so at their own discretion. They do what they want when they want.
Right.
There's no requirement under the law that they release something at a certain time in a certain manner. And in fact, if it's a part of a criminal investigation, it cannot be subject to a public records request until the end of the criminal investigation.
Yes.
Or case.
Yes. But my take is that releasing it on a Friday wasn't shady. Wasn't trying to slide it past anybody.
They released the body camera.
Right.
I mean, you can't squeal that you want transparency. And I'm a squealer. I know I squeal sometimes. I want transparency. And then complain, well, I mean, you released it on a Friday. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. They released the body camera.
Right.
It's forever. It's on social media.
Within a week, if I'm not mistaken, within a week of when the incident actually happened.
Yeah.
Because if they released it on Wednesday morning, does it make it any different?
What was on the body camera video? What
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. I mean, the taser and the shot and all of it were on the body camera video. The 911 call was in its entirety was on the body camera video.
Release it. Let it go.
They did.
Let it speak for itself.
Okay, that's where I want to go.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
Not yet.
Okay.
I've heard about it. Let
me tell you this. Who have you heard about it from?
Both sides actually.
Okay.
So I've heard the law enforcement take on it.
Uh-huh.
And then I've heard like
NAACP's take?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of course that means there's probably some truth in the middle.
Yep. Absolutely.
There is always and let me, because I want you to talk about it, but I will say this. As someone that for a decade or more has been preaching about body cameras, I have been the same person to say, camera footage doesn't always show you everything.
Correct.
That is the only problem with it.
Correct.
It is a marvelous piece of evidence.
Absolutely it is.
So what's on there?
What's on there is the interaction between the guy who 911 was called out for. That interaction is very, very quick, and you can make of it what you make of it. But when the officer opens the door and the guy lunges, it's very easy to Monday morning quarterback that 10 seconds versus the 3 minutes leading up to that or 2 minutes leading up to that when the officer is outside. Here's where the body camera footage is unbelievably vital to me. Number one, the 911 call, the guy is genuinely worried for his 88-year-old grandmother who's in the room with someone who's potentially cracked out. Officer shows up. The story is confirmed outside. Hey, you were called out for a guy who was potentially cracked out. Don't know if he has a weapon. Don't know if he's on drugs right now, but he's used drugs in the past. And I'm scared for my grandma. That story's confirmed outside. Has he used drugs in the past? Yeah. What drugs? Crack cocaine. That's confirmed outside. So the entire story of what's in the officer's mind when he opens that door, that whole scenario is spelled out before the door gets opened.
The totality of circumstances, if you will.
Yes. I hesitate to use totality because there's always more, right?
Well, there's always more, but there's totality of circumstances from the perspective of what the officer knows, what he or she is experiencing in real time, what's going on around them. So you use the phrase Monday morning quarterbacking.
Yeah.
I have defended law enforcement officers of accused wrongdoing. I have sued law enforcement officers of accused wrongdoing.
Yep.
It's not easy. It is. We think it is easy to do what they do. It's not easy. Sometimes it's remarkably easy to do certain things right and to not do certain things. But in real time, when stuff is happening, it's not always easy. And I think we forget that.
Mm-hmm.
I think large groups and entities forget that when talking about civil rights.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Yeah, they're trained. But like,
there is no amount of training. Have you done the Citizens Academy at a BRPD?
I have not.
You and me should do that.
Dude, if we can get t-shirts.
Jeez.
Like, Franz's Big Adventure.
Okay.
Citizens Academy. Dude, you see what I did there?
I did.
You're welcome. I'd do it. No, all joking aside, I would absolutely do it.
Okay.
I've gone through
Will you
it.
get tased?
It depends on who's tasing me and how much glee they're going to have in tasing me. Yes, I would
All
be I do think that people need to. I don't want John to be tased, but I do think that John being tased gives John a perspective about tasing versus shooting John at center mass that John doesn't have until such time that John is tased.
All right, caller number 5 at 499-1073 gets to tase Franz. Not really. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I'd take a tasing for charity.
Yeah. Maybe we could do something with this.
If there's t-shirts.
Okay.
I got to go.
You got to go. You got to get out of here. You got to get over to Court TV. Before we get you to break, I want to remind you about the folks over at Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website. What are you going to find when you get there? You're going to find a community bank. And they've been a community bank for well over 100 years now. 1897 through present day. If you live in the surrounding area around Baton Rouge, you need to look them up. Whether you're talking about personal banking, business banking, if you're looking to jump off that entrepreneur's cliff, if you are looking to purchase a new home, either way, they've got you covered. And the important thing here is you don't just have a bank, you have a banker. You have someone who can walk you through the process. you have someone who can answer your questions, not automated, frequently asked questions, someone who can answer your questions. You don't just have a bank, you have a banker. LandmarkBankLA.com. Am I right? Well, now I need content for this segment. Cut 13, 14, and 15, please. We'll do the Letmo thing. Oh, and grab what's his name? Jeff Reynolds, number 5 from that I was going to use on Moon Show yesterday. Well, I'm sweating. No, I'm sweating.
Byron says, I stopped going to the movies when I got in my 50s. If I can't pause it to go to the bathroom, I ain't interested.
That's funny.
That is funny. I wonder how much it would take for me to get them to put them subtitles on.
I don't like going to the movies because like I like to be immersed in the experience and not pulled back out of the fantasy. Every time someone talks, it's like put your cell phone away. I can see that glow. I can see that glow. I know you're quiet about it, But it's dark in here, and your cell phone is light.
Yeah. And they're not trying to dim it either. Like, I've been, like, the full-blown brightness overload. I'm like, why? What are you doing?
Keith says if you can't share, you shouldn't be talking about it. Completely disagree, Keith. There's a lot going on, man. A lot going on. Yeah. A lot about to come to the forefront here. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's press conference, by the way. Today's press conference. The audio we'll have for you tomorrow. And it is absolutely imperative that I find out things. Like, if I don't protect off the record stuff, I'm not worth my weight. You have that cut from yesterday? Yeah. 656 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Let me clean up Franz's mess here. There we go. All right. Rolling over to 656 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Going to get you caught up with ABC News here about 5 minutes from right now. Diving right back in. You heard the story in our local news at the bottom of the hour there. Congresswoman Julia Letlow announcing last week that she'll be co-sponsoring a constitutional amendment to ban the burning of the U.S. flag with Arkansas Republican Steve Womack. Letlow says, this amendment is about protecting the flag and what it represents.
What better way to honor the sacrifices of the men and women who served in uniform and fought for our freedoms and even died for our freedoms? It's time to protect the American flag from desecration.
This is a tough one. This is a tough one because what she's literally saying is the flag stands for freedom, and I want to pass a law that limits freedom. I completely agree that flag burning is disgusting, abhorrent. But there's also that part that says that's why it needs to be protected. I find those who would burn a flag to be disgusting, but need to be protected. Because I think we've seen in a cancel culture world, once you start opening up the books to what is and is not acceptable speech, we tend to be, we meaning Republicans, tend to be on the short end of the stick of that more often than not. And I don't know that fighting fire with fire is the right answer here. Well, especially when she's talking about putting out fires. Now, the proposal follows calls from the president for flag burners to face a year of jail time. Letlow says there's been an increase in flag burning recently amidst nationwide No Kings and anti-ICE protests. She says she defends the right to peacefully protest.
Burning flags in the streets is not a peaceful way to protest, and I'm absolutely against it, vehemently against it, and I believe most Americans are.
Starting fires at all, I think would be a better solution here. If you're starting a fire as part of a protest, now you're starting to get the ball rolling towards something that's leading towards more violence, right? You're getting the ball rolling towards something that could cause damage to public property. The symbolism of the American flag is, we've seen before. We go round and round with this topic about every 20 years in this country, right? Back to Vietnam and whatnot. And 1989, there was a case, Texas versus Johnson. Supreme Court ruled that flag burning is a form of symbolic speech protected under the First Amendment. To that, Congresswoman Letlow says,
that's why this would require a constitutional amendment to change that, because I just feel strongly that men and women have died for this flag and for us to be able to raise it proudly, and the desecration of it is just wrong.
Congresswoman Letlow will be back on with us a week from today. She comes on every other Wednesday. I'm hoping this topic is still at the forefront next week. I don't know that it will be. There's so much to unpack from the big, beautiful bill. And as the news cycle turns over day after day after day, there might be other stuff that comes up in front of this. But while I don't know if I agree with her take on pushing a constitutional amendment, I'd love the idea of pushing the conversation because it's worth talking about. Is it time to revisit? Can you present a new and different argument? We're all out of time for this hour. I tell you what, quick break with news, traffic, weather. Hour two's next. I had so much more in my head that I didn't get to.
Yeah, that 6 minutes went quick.
Yeah, it did. Ashley says, I disagree with her. The flag is a symbol, and people have the right to protest what it stands for. Don't make it an idol. We have enough of those. Ask just about any soldier, and they will say, you have that right. I'm with you. I'm with you, Ashley. Byron says, didn't the Supreme Court rule that flag burning is protected under the First Amendment? Yes, that's why she's looking for a constitutional amendment. Basically a carve out of the first. Man, once that domino falls. Okay, my bigger question is, why are you pushing for this right now? Of everything that we've got going on right now, controlling the ICE protests is a bigger, controlling the No Kings protest, like getting things under wraps is a bigger deal than the flag being burnt within the protest that's already out of hand. To me, like, the fever pitch with which we're at, a bill like this would only exacerbate it. Oh, I gotta get something off the printer. Our garbage hasn't been taken out this week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Byron says this reminds me of the 10 Commandments at school's effort, pandering to the base and won't accomplish anything beneficial. I'm glad you picked up on that, because when I said earlier, I like that we could revisit the conversation from time to time. That's exactly what I was talking about. It's a great exercise in debate. It's a great exercise in moving our nation forward to revisit the conversation. Do things look differently now? Can you present a better argument? 7:05, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. John LaBeouf producing, starting off at 79 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge for hour number 2. I'm telling you right now, as this segment opens, I'm fighting back a sneeze. Like, just as you know, I know it's going to hit at some point, and it's going to be at least a 3-hitter. At least a 3-hit sneeze, 3 in a row. I know that.
That's one of those dad sneezes.
Yeah. No, it's one of those good allergy sneezes. So if I have to hit the cough button in a minute, if I go completely silent, you know why right there. Hey, coming up this hour, Jill Kidder from Visit Baton Rouge going to hop on board on our next segment. We all done with the bowlers? They wrapping up? They out of here yet? How did things look? What did they bring to the table? And also this hour, Forum 225 is supposed to be stopping by, talking about that they've got an event coming up, I believe, Thursday night in connection with Planned Baton Rouge Phase 3. That's all later on this hour. Right now, we start off hour 2 with top stories and trending.
Number 5.
That's not my stories. That's my promos. Baton Rouge is seeing a significant decrease in the number of homicides so far this year. I should say we've seen a significant decrease in the number of homicides so far this year. From January through June, we saw 43 homicides. That is down 10 from last year's numbers. Now, going back to 2023, we saw 2 more by this time at 45, 54 for the first half of 2022, and a whopping 60 back in 2021.
Number 4.
Shell Catalyst and Technologies has completed Project Blue Cat. That's a $121 million expansion, giving their Port Allen facility, for the second time, a world-leading title. Already recognized as the world's largest refining catalyst plant, according to the Baton Rouge Business Report, it is now also the largest hydro-treating catalyst plant on the planet.
Number 3.
One person was injured in a shooting on Highland Road and East Buchanan Street. Happened at the, this is Highland and East Buchanan. That's in the bottom, right? 2400 block of Highland Road. It's right by East Buchanan. In fact, if you pull up a map of Baton Rouge where it says the bottom on the map, the T and the, it's 1 block over from there. The person who was shot was taken to the hospital in serious condition.
Number 2.
Deputies working with federal authorities on drug busts at 12 locations across the Baton Rouge area, according to the sheriff's office. They began investigating a Baton Rouge-based drug trafficking group back in July, who they claim is tied to local rap label Major League Entertainment. After conducting surveillance and purchasing crack cocaine from the group, agents identified 12 locations that the group allegedly used to store and sell drugs. 6 people were arrested. 2 more are still wanted.
Number 1.
Number 1 takes us out to the tropics, and we are holding at a 40% chance of Dexter. There's a system. It's a, let me pull it up from the National Hurricane Center and not do this by memory. There is a broad area of low pressure moving westward across the Florida Panhandle between Tallahassee and Panama City. The associated shower and thunderstorm activity is disorganized and located mainly south and southwest of the center. The system is forecast to continue moving westward and could emerge or redevelop over the far northeastern to north central portion of the Gulf later today or tonight, reaching the coast of Louisiana by tomorrow. If this system moves far enough offshore, environmental conditions over the Gulf appear generally favorable for additional development, and a tropical depression could still form over the next couple days before the system moves fully inland by the end of the week. Like I said, right now, 40% chance that it becomes Dexter over the next 2 days. Probably worth adding as a programming note, 8:05 this morning, WBRZ's chief meteorologist, Dr. Josh Eachus, going to join us to give us a look at what could be Dexter.
Indeed he will. And trending stories here, the Pentagon said Tuesday it is ending the deployment of 2,000 National Guard troops in Los Angeles, accounting for nearly half of the soldiers sent to the city to deal with protests over the Trump administration's immigration crackdown.
So are we? The fascist police state didn't come to fruition there.
I mean,
they didn't lock 1 billion people up.
Right.
I mean, are we done with that now?
One would think, right?
Conversely, did Los Angeles burn down and I missed it? Huh. Everything went to plan and we could all kind of relax.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Thought? That's right. In other news, add House Speaker Mike Johnson to the list of those calling for transparency on the release of all the Epstein files.
It's a growing list. It's a huge list.
What list?
Beautiful list. No, I'm talking about the people that want to see the list.
The list of people that want to see the list.
You can't tell me for a decade. You can't tell me all this time we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to expose it. It's awful. Is the worst thing ever. All these people are on it. The rich, the wealthy, the elite, blah, blah, blah. And then you run, a big part of your campaign was on the fact that it wasn't released. Yeah. And then all of a sudden one day you snap back at a reporter saying, what, you still talking about this guy?
Right.
Jeff Epstein? Huh?
With all that's been done already.
The financier?
Yeah.
Huh?
Oof, man.
No. You can't. There's only so much you can gaslight somebody.
Right. So what you're saying is don't undermine our intelligence. Like,
yes.
And that's how everyone feels, is they feel kind of duped, right? They feel like, okay, wait.
Insulted.
So now there's no list? There's no.
I wouldn't say duped because nobody's buying it.
You're right. Insulted is probably, that's a better word for sure. Man. Well, as you had just spoken about, Tropical Storm Dexter here, as the possibility of a named storm in the Gulf grows, Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple is calling on Louisianans to be prepared.
Our news partners at WBRZ have the list of places to get sandbags if you need them. I can tell you it's the usual suspects. If you regularly need sandbags, you already know. You already know the list. It's mostly Breck facilities where they have them out. WBRZ has the full list. Rolling over to 712 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Before we take our break, want to remind you about the folks over at Mathern's, specifically if you're in Kenilworth or the Highland Kenilworth area. Mag Woods, you know where you're at. Today's a big day, y'all, or a big day. Not the big day, a big day. Why? Because Mathern's at Kenilworth has been open for a little bit. It's been a soft opening. They're ramping things up now. They're ready to go full board. They are in. They have all the necessary adjustments have been made. It's time to turn on the lights and put on a show. That starts today. They've got goodie bags. They've got swag bags. They've got samples. They've got discounts. They've got coupons. They've got promotions. Everything today, and I believe it's all the way through Saturday. We'll be getting more details later on today or tomorrow to talk about some of the festivities. But the OG location. If you remember the old Kenilworth supermarket, that's the Mathern's. That's who ran that bad boy, and it's back. It's back in full force. Highland, just west of Kenilworth, it's Mathern's. Do what?
I was Jill Kidder.
Jill's on the phone? Yeah. Good. 7:15, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Got Jill Kidder coming up in just a second. Do need to remind you, the Louisiana Travel Association invites you to tag along with me and my family for what is going to be, one way or another, an unforgettable trip. They're calling it Brian's Big Adventure. You can follow me and the rest of the Haldane clan Friday, July 25th through Monday, July 28th. It's just a long weekend, y'all. We're going to head over to Miller's RV, pick up an RV, hit a couple spots around South Louisiana, and take in a little bit of what Louisiana has to offer. Staycation, if you will. Miller's RV's making it happen, as is the Louisiana Travel Association. All the content will be posted on Talk 107.3's social media. The Bowlers have been in town for some time now. They just about done. How'd we do? Did we live up to their expectations? Did they live up to ours? Joining us now from Visit Baton Rouge with Jill Kidder. Jill, how are you? I'm
doing great, Brian. Thanks so much for having me on.
Always. I don't have you on enough. I know I say that every time, so I need to make a better effort of it. But I figured right about now would be the right time because they got to be wrapping up, huh?
They are. July 28th. And they've been here since, actually March 1st. They had a little small tournament before that. Just kind of get ready, but bowling since the 1st of March. So we're thrilled. They have had such a great time here in Baton Rouge, and we want to thank everyone here in our community for welcoming them to open arms.
Let's drop Jill back on hold real quick. It's very digitized. John, find out if she's on speaker and if she can pick up, and let's see if we can get a little bit better connection there. Talking with Jill Kidder. So July 28th is when the whole thing wraps up right there, and since the beginning of March, that is quite some time. Now the cool part here is that our hotels haven't been overrun. It's never been 100% sellout the whole time, but that's never been the goal. And okay, let's get her back quickly. There you go. All right. So it's never been 100% sellout the whole time, but we have seen an increase in occupancy. So Jill, give us the lowdown. Do we have preliminary numbers? What kind of uptick we've seen over the last 6 months?
Yeah, it's been excellent. We won't know all the numbers until sometime in September, but it looks like our economic impact, Brian, is going to be somewhere around, $130 million for the entire project and event. So that's just huge for our community. And our occupancy has been up. Our average daily rate has been up. And, of course, most of them stay downtown, but our entire community has felt the impact of these bowlers. So we hope that in the future that we'll be able to get them back. They're wanting to come. So we're just trying to figure out how to actually pay for those rights that they, require in order to get here. So
well, it feels like the perfect marriage every time they come here. So we should be in a rotation to be sure. You talk about how most of them stay downtown. But there's ripple effects to that, though, Jill, is that if you're in a downtown hotel that's, let's say, running at 85 to 90% occupancy because, it's boosted up with the bowlers, that's going to push their discounted rates away. So someone who might have stayed downtown might trickle their way out to college or Acadian or whatever. We will see residuals from this as well.
Oh, absolutely. And we have seen that already. We're feeling it across the community. And, in fact, the region, we're seeing that our entire region has been up. So it's been good for everyone. And I think that, we've talked to restaurants and attractions who have seen them. And, of course, you can't miss them. They're in their bowling shirts, and they're everywhere.
I love when they're in their bowling shirts and they ask how if you see one of them downtown and it's like, hey, you're in for the bowling, and they're like, how'd you know? And I'm like, bro, look at the shirt, man. The rest of us aren't wearing that.
No, and several of our restaurants have said, they've made our summer. So it's really good to see that all of our community assets are benefiting from these bowlers and this event. So I think we'll have some great numbers, and hopefully you'll have me back on and we can share those numbers with you. And then maybe by November, we're going to know if we're going to be able to get them back. And, it certainly won't be anytime soon. It'll probably be sometime in, 2031, 2034, somewhere around in that rotation. It's such a big event that, there's almost 12,000 teams, and each of those teams is, at least 5 people traveling. And then, of course, with those 5 are their spouses and families, because a lot of them make this their family vacation, which is even better.
Want to talk about that? How much are we able to extrapolate right now? How much of it's anecdotal? How much of it can we have hard numbers of? Because this was one of the goals going in, Jill, was turning a quick 3-day bowling trip into a 5-night vacation or a 6-night vacation. Are we able to determine who extended their time here?
I think we will be able to tell you. We don't have that information now. The housing company is still, doing all the numbers and trying to figure out exactly, who stayed longer. But it looks like the average is going to be somewhere around 3 to 4 nights, and so that's wonderful, because they bowl a good 2 to 3 days, depending on what their scores are. So, that's exciting for us to have. It's almost like, Brian, having a big convention in town every night between March the 1st and July 28th.
Well,
and
I was going to say, instead of having one convention over 3 days, you'd have each breakout session day after day after day. So instead of that one weekend of 100% occupancy, it's 6 months of a 15% boost.
Yeah, and that consistency is good for our businesses. We need that turn. When it comes in 3 or 4 days and just turns over and leaves, there's not a lot of opportunity for our businesses to really see that these are visitors who are in their places. Right. These guys, they're in your location because of, as we said, the shirts that they're wearing, but also because a lot of them are repeat customers, and are coming back. So that's really good for everyone.
We got good.
Go ahead.
I was just resetting. We got Jill Kidder, head of Visit Baton Rouge, with us. Talk about the bowlers who have been in town since March. Jill, give me a story. Just anecdotally, give me a story that you've heard along the way of just an individual bowler experience.
Oh, there's been a couple of them. A couple did get engaged here. Another gentleman, he's 93 years old, and he's been bowling. He's not missed one in 50-some-odd years. He was here. We've just had one story after another. We had a perfect game scored recently.
Okay.
So it's just been delightful to hear the stories coming out of what's going on here in our community.
So for what it's worth, every bowler I've talked to, and I know this is anecdotal and it's been about a half dozen or so, but every bowler I've talked to has been under their average while they're here. It's I hate it for them. They're loving their time here to a man. Every one of them loving their time here, but every single one of them, how'd you bowl? They're like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I just want to go eat. I'm like, okay, that's what you're here for. Go eat. Have a good time. But bowling below the average. But I'm glad to hear there was a 300 game along the way. Before we pivot on to what's next, I do want to ask what's next for the materials. This is a cool part of the story that we learned once all the bowling alley was being put in. What happens with everything that's in the Raising Cane's River Center right now once the bowlers are gone?
Well, the majority of it is going to Habitat for Humanity. There's been something set up and this with Habitat for quite some time, and they partner with Habitat wherever they go. That's outside of Reno and Las Vegas, and the wood and the materials that are included in this build out will be donated to Habitat. And I understand, Brian, and that it could build as many or frame up as many as 3 or 4 houses.
So what we never think of, though, is all the wood that's behind the scenes here. Instantly, when you say Habitat for Humanity, I'm thinking bowling lanes can build out a number of floors, but everything else that was used behind the scenes is what's going into this.
Exactly. And if you walk into the exhibit hall at the Raising Cane's River Center, you're going to see an incredible build out there. They've taken up all of the exhibit hall, which is about 75,000 square feet. they've taken up all the entrance ways with their sponsors who have come in and built out literally stores inside of the River Center. And then the entire gallery area on one side is taken up by the registration area. And so all of that is, stuff that they've built out specifically for this location.
Is there one grand champion when it's over? I mean, is there like a final World Series sort of thing, a big, made for TV or a big televised event? Or is it just everybody has done their own thing and we tally up scores along the way?
Everybody's done their own thing, and we tally up scores along the way. But the prizes are big, and they're cash prizes. So it's you can go online at usbc.com and go to the Open Championship and see what those prizes are and who's won them over the years. And it's a big deal. It really is. It is the largest participatory indoor sport in the country, and so we have been fortunate. This is our fourth time to welcome them here. We had 3 of these Open Championships, which is their biggest, and then a women's championship as well.
The look, as great as that is for all of them, it's a little bit anticlimactic that there's not one big final World Series of it that the top 10, top 12, whatever, all go head to head on TV. I mean, we got to talk to the Bowling Congress about that.
I thought the same exact thing. This is really my first one to experience in this position at Visit Baton Rouge, and so I kept asking, well, what happens at the end? And they said, well, we have champions, but it is all done basically with the scores that have been accumulated through the whole championship.
Yeah, we need a good Roy Munson versus Ernie McCracken to round things out. What's next for Visit Baton Rouge? What's big on y'all's plate after the Bowlers?
Well, we go right into Marucci, which Marucci World Series is huge, of course, here in Baton Rouge, and we are so thrilled that Marucci has kept that World Series in Baton Rouge, in their home city. And it's always a big deal here. Of course, they do their opening in Owlet Box, and those kids just absolutely love coming here. I think we've got interest from at least 49 states right now, and several countries, folks traveling into Baton Rouge. And so, of course, those are young ball people who are playing, baseball, young guys who are coming with their families. So again, what the impact is to our community, we want to just say, please welcome these guys just like you have done with the Bowlers, because this is so important to our community. We have a lot of different tournaments over the year. But, of course, Marucci, this is their hometown, and we want to be sure that they know that we are so proud of them and that they are so welcome here, and that we want them to know that we care, that they have chosen Baton Rouge as their headquarters.
Where do they congregate? Where do they, Bowlers are going to be downtown, right? But when the Marucci World Series comes to town, is that more like a Essen Bluebonnet sort of thing? Is it College Drive, or is it a little spread out everywhere?
It's spread out everywhere. These folks make their own reservations and decide where they want to go, but it is, and of course it's spread out everywhere. But there are places that they're playing, of course, throughout the parish, literally. And so, they're going to congregate closer to where they're playing. And everybody knows where those locations are. So it's the Bluebonnet area where a lot of them will be. A lot of them are staying downtown because they just like, being close to restaurants and walking the levee and that kind of thing. So we've got folks everywhere.
Yeah, I picked Bluebonnet. I would think if you're getting out to Traction, that would probably be the straightest route from some nice hotels. So in the meanwhile, it's been a great year thus far, and we're only halfway through it. She is Jill Kidder with Visit Baton Rouge. We'll get another update in short order, Jill. Always appreciate the time.
Thank you so much, Brian. Great to be with you.
Likewise,
Bye-bye.
always. We're at 7:30 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Always appreciate Jill's time. And When you rewind the clock back to the overflow we had from the Super Bowl, and then you insert the bowlers, and then you move over to Marucci, we're going to be primed for a good year on the hotel front. Here's news. Hey, how's it going? Y'all are super early. I'm Adam before. Oh, then you're right on time. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Adam, nice to meet you. Chapman, all good. Adam, what's your last name? Chapman. Adam Chapman. Where do you want me? Right here on that microphone. And give me one quick second because I have to run down the hallway for something. Sure. Okay, great. Yeah, no audio right now, just video. Gotcha. No gang signs at the moment. Right. And I know you had Chris on yesterday talking about Plan Baton Rouge, the project anyway, so maybe I'll talk more about Forum 225 and then give a plug for the event. Yeah, okay. On the radio, you gotta look nice anyway, and then I realized there's a video. I saw the video with Chris. I was like, okay, you gotta dress a little nicer too. Just you're gonna be on the camera. I didn't think that powdered sugar is a good idea right before you go on the radio, though. Yes, no, it's more like if it goes down your throat, then you're choking on it. Also true. Okay, so I talked with Chris about tonight's thing. Yeah, we all have a separate thing. Yep, tomorrow night. Yeah, same basic idea, just with a little bit of a young professional twist. And it's in coordination with them, partnering with them pretty much. Chapman. Yep. C-H-A-P-M-A-N. Title? President of Forum 225. And my day job's at BRCC. What are you doing there? Director of Venues and Events. Managing all the spaces and places, 6 campuses, theaters, conference rooms, gym. Yeah. I'd be happy to throw that in there too. Absolutely. And I'm kind of new in that role, and they would be very excited to hear. Y'all's athletic director's been crushing it. Oh, yeah, Brock? Yeah. I talked to him a lot. Right now they're redoing the gym floor. They do that every summer to get prepped for the next year. Looking at having some big events coming up over there, too. Hopefully see some people through the doors for those games. Yes. That nursing building's been in construction now for a couple of years. Yeah, I take Florida on the way in. Yeah. I live in Sherwood, so just I don't like getting up on the interstate. I drive to work at like 4:30 in the morning, and I drive a sedan. I drive an 18-year-old Mercedes. I don't like being the only small black sedan on an interstate full of like zooming 18-wheelers when I can't see shit, and they're all like all their headlights are like eye level. So I'm just like, you know what? Florida Boulevard's nice, and I got the damn thing to myself. So, but yeah, I pass by the building every single morning, and I'm like, oh, it's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Wait, really? Cool. Yeah, I've seen toward Acadian Ambulances facilities over there near Lafayette. They've got something similar, but not nearly that high tech. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's about as close to closed loop as you can get. That's why I hate asking about things before it's all said and done, settled, because they haven't settled all receipts yet and whatnot. So, but no problem with just getting a little sneak preview. They got another week or so here. 737 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Are we going to see Dexter? Well, that disturbance is making its way towards the Gulf, and as of right now, there's a 40% chance of becoming a named storm. WBRC's chief meteorologist, Dr. Josh Eachus, is going to join us at 8:05 with the breakdown. Right now, we're going to pivot over to Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3. I know we talked about this yesterday with Chris Meyer from the Baton Rouge Area Foundation, but this is truly a team effort, and a big part of that team is Forum 225. Forum 225's president is Adam Chapman, and he is in studio with me right now. How are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
No, glad to have you on here. Glad to be talking about this. Let's start with Forum 225's role in the overall, everything that's going on right now.
Sure, yeah. The community effort, they're wanting everybody to be involved and participate in the plan. There were the surveys, the open houses, the research.
Just a little bit closer.
Sure. Yeah. The research portion of the planning process. And, of course, we want our membership to be involved. But we're taking it a step further with our event to try and really plug in.
Y'all are going to have an event tomorrow night. Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3 has an event tonight at the old state capitol. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. I tell you what, let's push pause. For those that don't know, talk radio tends to skew a little older. For those that don't know, bring us up to speed. What is Forum 225? How did it come to be? And, who are your members and who are you?
Sure, yeah. Forum 225 is a young professionals organization here in Baton Rouge. Actually been around for 31 years in town. Some people may know us as Forum 35, which is what the name was for a very long time. And we did that rebranding process right when COVID happened. So getting out the new name ended up being a little bit tough.
Y'all were Forum 35 all the way up until COVID?
Yep, that's right.
Man, okay.
Yeah.
Because y'all were Forum 35 when I was under the age of 35.
That's right, yeah.
So it was quite the stretch right there. Rebranding to Forum 225. What do you do now? Like if somebody is thinking about membership or somebody's looking for a way to get involved in and around Baton Rouge, y'all are such a good outlet for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're a great place to plug in. I think, our goal is to bring young people into the room together, get to know each other, make some friends, make some connections, and maybe get inspired on becoming more involved in the community. So we do social events and networking. We do service projects with local other nonprofits. We have leadership training and professional development courses. We even have our own leadership program called the Barton Leadership Program that's been around for a long time. So we got a little bit of everything for a young professional mix, and we call that 21 to 44 years old. That's a young professional for us.
Okay, 21 to 44. We've got Adam Chapman in with us. He's the president of Forum 225. Okay, so tonight, Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3, public meeting going on at the Old State Capitol. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. is the presentation going on. Y'all have Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3, Your Voice, Your Future. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, we're going to be downtown at the Manship Theater tomorrow night, and we're going to be having a similar content from tonight's event, but just putting a little bit of a young professional spin on it and a mostly young professional audience. We'll have a presentation on the findings so far from Plan BR3, the survey results. They're kind of getting us up to speed on where we are in the process, and then it's going to be very interactive. Some live polling of the audience, Q&A. So we're really encouraging the audience to be involved and share their voice.
Who are they hearing from?
They're hearing from some folks from BRAF, from Franklin Associates, from Sasaki, the national consulting firm that's kind of the lead on the project, and maybe a few other panelists.
Have they given you the peek behind the curtain of what the presentation is going to be yet?
Not yet. I will be seeing it for the first time with everybody else.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was asking for spoilers a little bit.
No spoilers.
If we can get a little peek behind the curtain there, but getting access to, Braff and Franklin Associates, they're here. Sasaki coming to town is kind of a big deal.
Yeah. They're a nationally recognized design firm who specializes in this sort of thing. So, Braff, they're the ones spearheading the whole project, bringing in a group of that importance and of that skill level. I think is really impressive, and we're lucky to be in the room with those folks for this kind of event.
How'd that collaboration get started? Who brought who in here?
For this event?
Yeah, no, for tying Forum 225 into the overall effort here.
Sure. Forum 225 was very involved in the previous Plan BR effort. So Plan BR 2, I think, finished in 2009. Plan BR 1 was maybe back in the 90s. And so Forum 225 has sort of been involved all along the way. And then a lot of our folks, alumni of the group are in some of these different organizations. I'll give a shout out to Eric Dexter. He's a good friend of ours.
He's awesome.
He's the former president of Forum 225 years ago. He's over at Braff. So, when we want to get connected on something, he's a good man to talk to. And so that's how we kind of made this collaboration happen.
Reading from the website, it says this won't be your typical planning meeting. We're talking interactive discussions, fresh ideas, and real opportunities to share your voice on what's next for our city's core. I want to pick your brain a little bit. You got any ideas?
Sure.
What are you bringing? What are you bringing?
Man, I'm interested in this sort of thing, urban development and planning, just as a hobby.
Yeah.
And what happened down Government Street, the redesign and the lane, the shrinking of the road and stuff. The road diet. Yeah, I think that's a fantastic way to change the layout of the city.
Mm-hmm.
My wife and I bought a house off of Government Street, and that was a big part of it. Was realizing the difference in what that would mean for the way that road would develop.
It's amazing how, as we were going through it, there were so much complaints.
Yeah.
Generally, when you have change, that comes about. But the way it looks now versus it's almost hard to remember what it used to be like.
Right. And I think it's tough to understand it, but the science is there, right? The data is there that says these kinds of things and these developments are what people crave, and they maybe don't even know it. It's just a natural way to do things.
Yeah, we went through the phase of doing it and then the phase of getting used to it, where you saw people jumping the curbs down the middle and whatnot.
Right, yeah.
But I think it's all come out smooth on the back end. As far as downtown is concerned, and I've been part of a focus group that's been on the back end of this. I went to the first public meeting and I'll be there tonight as well. And what I'm kind of energized by is everybody else's energy.
Yeah, this is something that seems to be bringing a lot of people together and a lot of people to the table. That's the idea, right? And we want to have as many voices participating in the process as possible.
Mm-hmm.
People who've traveled to different areas of the country or different areas of the world have seen what design and development with intention can do for a city, and I think that's what's driving this. So the more people that are plugged in is the better.
What's downtown missing right now?
Oh, man. There are a lot of big ideas out there. I don't know what I would pick. I think the development of the riverfront seems to be kind of taking the lead. What that really looks like, who knows?
Development of the riverfront needs to take the lead. I completely agree with you right there. I'm huge on that. Whether you're talking about building out some kind of boardwalk,
right.
like the Jersey Shore. I don't want to say the Jersey Shore because it brings up images of the TV show.
Sure.
I'm not talking about Pauly D in the situation. I'm talking like the actual Jersey Shore, like something that people can congregate there. The revamp of the River Center, headquarter hotel, that's going to be a big one as well. The tying in of surrounding neighborhoods. How important is that?
That I really think is the key. With a lot of this modern design and development, it's all about walkability and accessibility. And what brings value to a place is the people that are around it that can get to it easily and comfortably and safely. So having the accessibility to the neighborhoods, I think, just kind of is the natural evolution of something like that.
We got Adam Chapman in for a couple more minutes. He's with Forum 225. I'm going to pivot back over to some of the other events y'all have coming up as well, just to make sure that those that are learning about Forum 225 can get themselves involved. But sticking with what's coming tomorrow night, Franklin and Associates, their role in conjunction with y'all is what?
I think they're the lead consulting group locally in the project. The Plan Baton Rouge project partners is a large group of different companies, including Braff and Franklin, and some other players in town who have coordinated the big scope of the project and the funding and things like that. And I think they're our local contact for Sasaki.
Adam, I want to ask you about tying the future of downtown in with the future of Forum 225? Because there's a lot of crossover here. You got a pretty fat Venn diagram between the two right there. When it comes to Forum 225, this is all about networking, community involvement, and moving the city forward, as is Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3. So from a Forum 225 perspective, are you looking for more like ideas that can sprout smaller groups along the way, ideas that can sprout, smaller, I don't want to say smaller projects because it all ties into the whole, but are we looking for that one big idea, or are we looking for the everything under the big umbrella?
I think it's really more about small experiments, right? Where can we try things and see what happens? What are the easiest ways for us to make improvements that are going to immediately help people's lives? And for Forum, it's about quality of place, quality of life.
Yeah.
So more than just networking, we'd like to be a group that's a talent retention tool for the community. Young professional talent fleeing the city and the state is on the top, is a hot topic right now. And so our group wants to be a place where employers can send their employees, their young folks, to get involved, plant some roots in town, have something to be a part of, and enjoy their life in Baton Rouge. So we want to be a part of that.
What kind of feedback do you get when it comes to the hurdles for talent retention? What kind of feedback do you get that why folks wouldn't choose Baton Rouge?
So same old stereotypical things, oh, Baton Rouge's crime is so bad, traffic's so bad, the place isn't so nice. I've lived in other cities, and they're the same things everywhere, right? If you live somewhere, you're going to experience those things. If you pick the wrong road, if you go down the wrong place of town. So I don't think that that's the reality of being happy in your place.
The 10 o'clock news in Nashville has the same lead stories as 10 o'clock news in Baton Rouge.
That's right.
It's a matter of what you pick and choose to go after on the back end of that.
Absolutely.
As far as Forum 225 is concerned, and we'll run down the details on Your Voice, Your Future in a second.
Sure.
But as far as Forum 225 is concerned, give us a preview of the rest of the calendar. What y'all got coming up later this month, maybe next month?
Yeah, we're working on planning some new events right now. We've had a couple of things recently that were pretty interesting. Last week we were bowling with the Mandela Fellows from Africa. So there's a program through the State Department that brought some young leaders from Africa to LSU. They've been here for a few weeks.
Okay.
And we had a social with them last week where we went bowling, many of them bowling for the very first time. That was a lot of fun and an interesting cultural experience.
Downtown at the River Center or out at
no,
the
we were out
All-Star?
at Main Event. Yeah.
Oh, Main Event.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Now I would have loved to be in the River Center with the Congress of Bowlers. I'm a bowling fan myself. But,
yeah, it's have you been down there? It's impressive.
Yeah,
it's the way they built that thing out. I was there the opening night. It was amazing.
Yeah.
What else y'all got going?
Sure. We've got a little series going on right now called our Coffee With series. We're meeting with civic and political leaders in a small settings. Coffee sessions in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
We met with the chief of police a few weeks ago, Jean-Paul Cousson, the public service commissioner.
Cool.
We've got Nancy Landry coming up later, and Brian Wilson, the assessor. We're working on planning our next networking socials right now, so I don't have the details on those yet. But we're always keeping up on our website and on our social media with the upcoming events.
All right, give me the rundown one more time. Your Voice, Your Future coming up tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night at 5:30 at the Manship Theater downtown. There'll be a cash bar. Maybe that's a little bit of a young professional flair. We'll get people loose and talking about the future of Baton Rouge. Free to attend, open to the public, but we certainly hope young folks will join us.
Cash bar. Step up your game, Chris Meyer. Step up your game. He's Adam Chapman with Forum 225. You can learn more at forum225.org, forum225.org. Hit up their little events drop-down tab right there. You can see about the Coffee with Nancy Landry. You can see about what's coming up tomorrow night at the Manship Theater. Check-in starts at 5:30. Like Adam said, presentation starts at 6, and then everybody gets to talking at about 7 o'clock. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Adam Chapman from Forum 225. We've got Your Money Now coming up in just a quick second. Do want to remind you next Wednesday, Baton Rouge Children's Advocacy Center invites you out to Low Bears Casino for the 19th annual Celebrity Waiter event. Yours truly is going to be in the mix, and I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need as much cash as you can throw my way. Doors will open at 6:30. Silent auction will be out there. Learn more at brcac.org.
All right. Thank you very much.
No, my pleasure.
Did I do okay?
You did great.
All right.
Great.
Thanks a lot.
It's Taylor was asking. He's like, "You think that's enough for a segment?" I'm like, "Oh, it's going to be plenty for a segment."
Yeah, that's perfect.
We did it well. Good stuff.
Did you get a picture? Can I get a picture and I'll?
Yeah, I got a picture.
All right. Yeah, I'll do one to give to our social media people.
tag me along the way. Let's
All
get
right.
my logo instead of the 5-star logo. There we
There you
go.
go.
Yeah,
All right.
there.
Shameless plugs.
Always.
That's the business I'm in, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Aren't we all, though?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Thank y'all very much.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I'm hoping to make it out tomorrow night.
Okay, but yeah, please do.
I'm a father of 3.
Oh, yeah. I got an 18-month-old, so that has certainly changed the social game. And
Are
that.
y'all mid-city?
Yeah, we're right by
Okay.
Jefferson.
Make sure there's no. Yeah. Oh, good dude right there. So you age out at 44 on Forum 225. So I can't be a member. But this is open to everybody, and I think that's important to reiterate.
That is awesome. Yeah. Love that.
How long do I have?
You got about another minute.
Okay.
Yep.
Try Condon again.
Oh, okay. Upside.
When we hit the top of the hour, you use some Beignet fingers.
Beignet fingers.
Back to wrong.
Oh, sweet.
Everything's 60 years old. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness gracious. 7:55 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hey, John. John.
Hello there.
Hey, you saw in the rundown we got Miss Becky Prejean from Dreams Come True coming in at 8:35.
I
You
do
saw
see
that?
I'm looking
She's
at her.
early and she
Yeah.
brought beignet fingers.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I had one. Nope,
Oh,
lie.
were they?
That's a lie. I
Were
had
good?
two. That's just so awesome. Always awesome. All right, this day in history. Let's roll.
All right.
Gotta go back in time.
Ooh, 1945. The first test detonation of an atomic bomb occurs at Trinity Site,
Really?
New Mexico, as part of the U.S. Manhattan Project.
The Manhattan Project.
Ooh. Hey, 1969, Apollo 11 launches, carrying the first men to land on the moon. We landed on the moon.
Or did we?
Oh.
Yeah, the number of people believe that.
Hollywood basement style, right?
Yeah.
Right there, man.
God, I hate people.
Oh, come on. He doesn't mean that, people.
Depends on the people.
Depends on the people. Depends on the people.
What you got? What else you got?
Hey, 1972, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles' final live performance in Washington, D.C.
Really?
Were you a fan of I don't know. I feel like Brian Haldane is a fan of Smokey Robinson and the Miracles.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm
For real.
even more of a fan of what's that thing where you can hire a celebrity to give a voice message for you?
Oh, Cameo.
Cameo.
Yeah.
Smokey Robinson on Cameo wishing someone a happy Chinooka.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a classic.
There we go.
Happy Chinooka.
Oh, man. 1973, during Watergate hearings, Alexander Butterfield reveals the existence of tapes,
Yeah.
much like, an Epstein list, They exist, right?
Not quite the same thing.
But,
This is, breaking into the DNC, not a pedophilia ring. Huge difference.
Hey, Ronald Reagan was nominated for U.S. president by Republicans in Detroit this day, 1980.
Mm-hmm.
1999.
Oh, wait, hang on. 1951, Catcher in the Rye came out.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff there. 1999, John F. Kennedy Jr., his wife, Carolyn Kennedy,
Mhm.
sister-in-law, they were all, involved in a plane crash.
Okay.
So, killed in a plane crash off the coast of Martha's Vineyard. In 2012 today, The Dark Knight Rises is released as well. Another great one. Yesterday we talked about The Dark Knight, and then today The Dark Knight Rises 4 years later.
Yeah. All right. Birthdays. What you got?
Orville Redenbacher. Tongue
Okay.
twister there. Orville Redenbacher.
Good.
Let's see who else we got for you. Corey Feldman today. Oh, happy birthday, Corey Feldman. Let's see who else we got. Anybody else on your end? I got Will Ferrell.
You got Will Ferrell. Let's go there. Let's say happy
Will
birthday,
Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
Oh, man.
Mess around with Corey Feldman. How about Ginger Rogers, born on this day in 1911?
Okay.
How
yeah.
about Barry Sanders, born on this
Yes.
day in 1968? In fact, there's a whole stack in the sports world.
Shoeless Joe Jackson as well?
Shoeless Joe Jackson was in that mix, as was Jimmy Johnson and former LSU quarterback Zach Mettenberger, who died.
John F. Kennedy Jr., of course. No, I had one more. George Romero as well. Yeah,
Okay.
film director.
Associate Justice John Paul Stevens died on this day in 2019. Mary Todd Lincoln died on this day in 1882. And that was all I had.
All right. Today, National Day is Artificial Intelligence Appreciation Day. Should it have
No.
its own? Come on.
Oh.
Come on. What about Corn Fritters Day?
Okay. I'm there.
Fresh Spinach Day?
We headed to corn fritters.
National Atomic Veterans
I like
Day.
a good fritter.
Yeah.
For sure. It's 8 o'clock. Hour 3's next. Do you have Josh Eachus' phone number? Cool. .806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Busy hour this hour. We'll talk with Hunt Palmer, who is at SEC Media Days. In our next segment, we got the folks from Off the Hook and Ms. Becky Prejean from Dreams Come True coming up before the show is over with. But right now, there's a ton of rain in Panama City Beach, rain that can't wash away the bad decisions of last night at Club La Vila. But will that rain make its way out into the Gulf of Mexico and turn into Tropical Storm or worse, Dexter? Joining us now to talk about it is WBRZ's Chief Meteorologist, Dr. Josh Eachus. Josh, how are you?
I'm doing good today, Brian. You doing all right?
I could not be better today. Well, it's kind of going to depend on what you have to say, because that's going to determine the rest of our week, isn't it?
I will not be too much of a downer on this one. I've kind of been consistent since last Friday in saying this is likely a rain event for our area and not much more to worry about than that. But rain events can be a bit of a burden sometimes, and there could be some issues, but I don't think anything we haven't seen before.
So as far as a rain event for our area, let's take it down to the coast, though, to start off before we back up to our area. As far as whether or not this thing is going to get a name slapped on at the National Hurricane Center, as recently as 7 o'clock, pumping out still at 40% over the next 2 days. Is there any way to move that number up or down right now, or do we just not know until it's in the water?
It is. It's kind of just hugging the north central Gulf Coast right now, and it's just really sloppily organized. It's usually a tropical system. You want to see the areas of low pressure at the surface of the atmosphere like vertically stacked and aligned. And right now, the upper level energy for low pressure is inland across Georgia, and the surface low pressure reflection is in the north central Gulf. So as long as they're detached like that, it's really hard believing this thing's going to get its act together with its very short time span that it has left over water. So I think at most this could be a very short fuse depression before it officially finds its way all inland. But I think even that's going to be a tough sell. This one's not looking too healthy.
Now, as far as the actual weather, either, let's say down on the coast, the weather on the coast, rain through what, Friday?
Yeah, because the system's unorganized, that actually makes the predictability of it a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to end up being really an increase of moisture in our atmosphere, and that will just linger for many days. So it's likely that any heavy rain directly related to this system will be Thursday and Friday. But some of the moisture affiliated with the system could continue to, let's say, enhance our daily showers and thunderstorms over the weekend as well.
Okay. We're talking with WBRZ's chief meteorologist, Dr. Josh Eachus. What about the other circumstances that surround? I mean, if it's a disorganized storm, and that doesn't necessarily mean, or if it doesn't get itself together with any kind of circular motion or whatever, do we see effects like within the water as well? Do we ever get storm surge from something that's not an organized storm?
Yeah, that's a great question, and usually the answer is no. And in this case, it will be no. And we're actually at a favorable tide cycle right now that should keep some of the wave heights down a little bit and should keep some of the tides a little bit lower than usual. Now, they'll be, I should say, lower than they might be with a system like this usually. They'll be a bit elevated, but we don't even look for major coastal flooding impacts. There are no coastal flood alerts right now. Mm-hmm. It's just about the flood watch inland for the generally the heavy rain that the system will bring.
All right, let's now bring it back into Baton Rouge a little bit. Timeline on when we'll see the rain, because you never know when you're going to catch rain in July in Louisiana. But timeline on when we'll see the rain from this storm making its way in. Are we looking at Friday?
Any precipitation that we see beginning today will be loosely tied to this system. And again, it's just because it's that envelope of tropical moisture that's moving our way. So this is now going to begin to have an influence on our weather. Because this is a poorly organized system, it's difficult to game out exactly where the heaviest rain will be. The flip side, the plus side is very few should see major impacts from this. So that's the pro. The con is it's harder to predict where those impacts will be because we don't see, a consolidated circulation in a tropical storm or a hurricane where those rain bands are really identifiable, where we know closer to the center of the storm or an eye wall is going to have heavier rain. This just doesn't have that. So what it's going to really do is mask or disguise as a more active than usual summer pattern. There's likely going to be a daytime warming component to the showers and thunderstorms. Okay. So our nights will be a little bit quieter than our days. And during our days, there's just going to be storm cells that drop really heavy rain. But as you know, you just said it, and we're very open about this. In the summer, because of the daytime warming element and just these bubbles of heat that pop thunderstorms, exactly where they set up is difficult to determine until they form.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's just somewhere in town there's going to be a 20-minute monsoon. That's
the
long and the short of it. Back into this, are we able to predict, are we looking like Friday or Saturday before it's out?
I think that the rainiest days should be tomorrow and Friday. I would put a bit of a question mark on Saturday still being fairly active, and by Sunday we should really start to see activity turn down a little bit. I would believe you'll be able to get some outdoor activity in on Saturday and Sunday, but with the same caveat of any kind of active summer day, you'll probably get chased inside, from time to time. Mm-hmm. But I don't look for either weekend day to be a full-on washout.
Backing things up, Josh, to the overall hurricane season thus far, Colorado State already peeled back a little bit on their overall projections. What's been your takeaways as we're now a month and a half in?
I agree with their projections. We know that, 23 and 24 were really weird years, not just in the tropics, but the heat, too. I mean, everybody recalls that. I was saying to my wife just the other day, the heat here locally feels kind of, normal again. What we're used to. Yeah, it's nasty, it's hot, it's humid out there, but we haven't seen insane temperatures in the upper 90s and the hundreds. We've had a couple of borderline heat advisories. And I think in the basin, too, we're starting to see this reversion to a bit of a more usual hurricane season. And this is what we would expect for a transition year. Colorado State peeled back their amounts, he said, because wind shear is really high in the Caribbean right now. So it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for those long track Atlantic systems to find their way across the basin. We're more likely this year, and this goes to the outlook back to the beginning of the season from the National Hurricane Center in Colorado State. We're more likely to have junk systems like this that maybe come with a little less warning because they spin up close to home, but we call them all kind of homegrown around the southeast coast, in the Gulf, maybe near the Yucatan, which does give us a little less time to repair. But that's the nature of when the basin's not favorable for conditions. We still have that warm water close to home in the shallower basins, and you'll get things spinning up on the tail ends of fronts and with upper level disturbances and things like that. So we still need to be on guard. Some of those can become nasty storms. I mean, Ida was a homegrown system essentially starting near the Yucatan Peninsula. So it's hard to say if we're going to have a major or anything like that, but I like the thinking of the prediction that they've made.
Last one before we get you out of here, and that's kind of the nature of where storms begin. Traditionally off the coast of Africa. Recently, we've seen Bay of Campeche or the southern Gulf of America, and then make their way north. This one just popped up right off the shore of Florida, or coast of Florida, and made its way across. Two-part question. Number one, is there a normal anymore? And number two is when you have a storm like that, can we expect the pattern to be it's going to have trouble organizing?
First part of the question is that isn't unusual. I mean, Chantal, the last storm formed right there. There's a lot of storms I can recall in recent history, and a lot of early season storms. Your A through your D names, they do develop in that nook between South Carolina and Florida, or in the nooks and crannies of the Gulf, and it's because they're still tied to old fronts, which are kind of weak this time of year and just stall and linger there, and they just become a triggering point for something to spin up. So that's not unusual, and that's something we could well see, later in the season. Part two of the question again was
when you see a storm like that, does it hinder its progress? Does it, because of where it popped up, it can't really, develop into something, can it?
Generally that those systems are going to be a little bit more challenged because of nearby land interactions. The closer you are to the state, the more chance there is of interactions with upper level winds, which creates shear and whatnot. But if we were to get something like this to spin up, in August or September, when the upper level winds are their weakest and the water is its warmest, some of those could blossom fairly quickly. Within the last 20 years, I think Umberto is a really good example I always use. That was a system back in the early 2000s that went from a depression to a Cat 1 overnight, and it was just south of Lake Charles and ended up spinning inland near the state line with Texas. So that's just when the environment's favorable and the water is warm, something can intensify rather quickly, even from having the initial appearance of a junk storm.
He is WBRZ's chief meteorologist, Dr. Josh Eachus. We always appreciate the time. Talk to you soon.
All right, Brian. Take care.
You too. It's 8:15, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. We are overdue for a break. Do need to remind you about Louisiana Travel Association before we take that break. They've got their big summit coming up. I'll tell you about that in just a quick second, but they're also helping put me on the road, me and my family on the road. Travel Association is sponsoring Brian's Big Adventure. Actually, Miller's RV and the Travel Association doing this. Follow it at Talk 107.3's social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the like. The Louisiana Travel Association is, when it comes to tourism in Louisiana, they basically, they are the lead, right? They have the outlet in every area around the state, and the travel summit's coming up. Golden Nugget in Lake Charles, August 26th through 28th. We'll be taking the show on the road there. I love this this time of year. I love this event. We did it last year. We brought you two shows in the same day, as we just got a full-on look at everything that LTA is up to, because they're working overtime. We talked with Chris Landry when I filled in for Moon yesterday, we had Chris Landry on just talking about some of the things they've got going on. The summit is one you're going to want to dial into. We will be bringing you Mornings with Brian Haldane and a special midday show live from the Golden Nugget in Lake Charles, August 26th through 28th, and it's tied in with the Louisiana Travel Association. Quick break, take you to Atlanta next. Oh, Nelly. One more. Braff spot. Think about me. Ooh, when's that? Now he's thinking about me every night. Oh. 820 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Every day that our crew from 104.5 ESPN is in Atlanta, we try to take you there at least once a day, and we do that right now. He's the host of the Hunt Palmer Show. He is Hunt Palmer. Hunt, how are you, sir?
I'm quite well. It's day 3. Gets to be kind of a grind at this point. LSU's now like 48 hours in the rearview mirror, but we're getting along.
Are you okay? So I want to ask about the balance here because LSU dropped a lot in our laps on Monday morning. How are you managing the balance between everything that LSU dumped versus picking up everything that everyone else is dumping along the way? Between coach and the 3 players that were there was a lot of content, a lot to look forward to coming out. So where is your balance of workload right now?
You got to know going in. Now, I haven't been here in 12 years for media days, but I knew, like, when I sat down for my show on Monday at 1 o'clock Central Time, like, LSU had flown out. Like, they were gone. So you know that's all you're getting for LSU for the next 4 days, so you're not going to go ahead and run through all of it. We got through a couple of features on Chris Hilton and Whit Weeks, and I'm writing a column right now with some of the quotes that Garrett Nussmeier gave us, and I'll have that up here within the next hour. So you got to ration your LSU stuff, but also understanding that there's more content to come with the other 15 teams that follow. So it's a great event. It's good to kind of unofficially kick off the football season, and from a content perspective, you gotta manage things, and I think we've done okay.
All right, stepping aside from LSU, I like to ask about media days overall because every year it's its own event. Every year someone stands out. Who stood out so far?
You know, it's interesting. There's a ton of buzz about LSU. That's not always the case. But, Tennessee was kind of a little bit of a darling. Ole Miss certainly was last year, and they're not as much this year with as much as they lost off those rosters. Alabama's here today. That's always an interesting storyline. And then Arch Manning was complete madness yesterday. Just for a little bit of perspective, there's a big media ballroom where the head coach speaks to everybody, and then after he's done, there are 3 little stages set up in the corner where the individual players go. And usually there are 10, 15 media members at a time talking to whatever player, the linebacker from Vanderbilt, the running back from Tennessee, whatever. And they just kind of come and go as that little 25-minute session goes. Before Arch sat down, 45 minutes before he sat down, there were 65 people jockeying for position on an empty stage in the corner of this ballroom. Like, it is so unlike anybody that's been covered here probably since Johnny Manziel. That's probably the last time there was this much buzz, and Manziel had already won the Heisman Trophy and gotten in trouble off the field. So there was a lot of storylines just based on what he had already done. Arch hasn't really done anything. he's just got a common last name. So there are a lot of folks that were dialed into him yesterday for sure.
Like Gunnar Stockton could have stood naked in the hallway and all cameras would have been pointed at Arch.
It was Arch Mania. There's no question. And to his credit, he handled it great. He's very subdued. He's very even keeled, and you would expect that knowing his lineage. He took it in stride, and it was a madhouse for him, unlike it'll be for literally anybody, player or coach, the rest of the entire week. But he handled it very well.
Are we setting him? I say we, meaning the media. Are we setting him up for failure?
This is my take on it. If he was playing for Purdue, I think you'd be setting him up for failure. But you're talking about a guy who's taking snaps for a team that's got as much talent in college football, for one of the best coaches in college football, against what is a pretty manageable by SEC standards schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So the situation he's dropped in, regardless of expectations, the situation he's dropped in is very favorable. How he handles it, that's why they played the game. But I have a hard time believing that he's just going to get swallowed up by the moment because 60 people wanted to talk to him at one time at media days.
No, I'm not talking about media days. I'm talking about once the season gets here, the level of expectation is going to be so high. We're talking like Billy Bean level of expectation.
Yeah, I mean they've got to make the playoff and make a push at it. That's the deal, and that's kind of the situation that Garrett Nussmeier's in at LSU too. I mean that's the anticipation that LSU will be in that situation as well. And so if either of those teams comes up short, those two guys are going to be looked at and say, well, you didn't quite get it done. But I think that'll probably be due to bad things that happened over the course of season 2 to the team as opposed to Arch just being a complete bust.
If Arch is the top of the hype train and Nuss is not too far behind, does that mean nothing but bulletin board material for Lenora Sellers?
Well, that's the South Carolina quarterback, and they had a really strong finish to the season last year. They played Alabama very close, and then they crushed Texas A&M in Columbia when the Aggies were a hot name at that point. And then they finished the season by winning at Clemson, which very few teams do. Sellers is the guy that a lot of folks are talking about. Most have him third or fourth as far as the quarterbacks go. I'm not sure that the level of talent around him is nearly what LSU and Texas have, so he'll have to do more for that team to achieve than Nussmeier or Arch will have to do. But sure, if he takes that as a slight, I would suggest there are very few people that would say they would take Lenora Sellers over Nussmeier or Arch at this point.
Set us up for today. What are we looking forward to?
Kalen DeBoer is talking right now. Obviously, a lot of heat is on him and Alabama in his second year there. They don't lose 4 games very often. They don't lose to Vanderbilt ever. They did both of those things last year, so it's a big year for him. He's speaking, and then we'll hear from 3 more teams as the day progresses. It's interesting because in Birmingham, Alabama and Auburn were so much bigger storylines than really anybody else because of the local media that descended on the Winfrey. Now that we're in Atlanta, it's a big city, and everybody can kind of get here. You can't really tell who's got more media presence or who the pressure's on more. But Alabama will be the talk of today for sure.
Following Alabama, you got Mississippi State, then you got Florida, and then Oklahoma's going to round things out. Between Florida and Oklahoma, is today kind of hot seat Wednesday?
I don't know that Kalen DeBoer is on the hot seat unless the bottom falls out. The expectation level in Starkville for Jeff Lebby is almost zero. The other 2 guys, Napier and Venables, Florida and Oklahoma, absolutely. Those 2 guys have to win this year. If either wins 6 games or 7 games, I think their tenure at that power is probably over. Both of those coaches are going to feel pretty confident because they've got what they believe to be really good quarterbacks, DJ Lagway at Florida, and then John Mateer transferred from Washington State to Oklahoma. LSU will play both of those teams, Florida in week 3 in Tiger Stadium, and then the final game of the season at Oklahoma for the first time. So yesterday was a little bit tougher from my perspective because 4 teams went that LSU doesn't play, which is a weird coincidence. Today, you've got some teams that are on LSU's schedule, Alabama, Florida, and Oklahoma. So a little bit better on the local content angle for us. And as far as the national content angle goes, those 2 guys have got to win games.
What's the talk in the hallway been thus far, aside from March? What's the hot topic right now that maybe isn't making it to the airwaves yet?
Well, I'll kind of take it and go a little bit of a different direction because everybody thought it was hilarious yesterday. Right, Commissioner Sankey gets up and introduces the head coaches. Usually just talks about their family and what they did in the off season, some nugget that he's picked up, and then introduces them. The big banner behind him lights up with the logo of that coach, and then they play the school's fight song over the loudspeaker. Well, yesterday he got into Steve Sarkisian and talked about Steve and his family and just having twins, and then he said, welcome to the stage, Steve Sarkisian, and then the big Texas Longhorn was up on the stage, and they played the Texas A&M fight song, which is the wrong button to push in the back, and everybody got a good chuckle out of that in the ballroom. And Commissioner Sankey just apologized a day later this morning in his opening address, and he was introducing Kalen DeBoer. Yeah, the Longhorns don't really like being associated with the Aggie fight song, which was humorous to me at least.
I am surprised that hasn't gone viral. That needs to be
I'm not
everywhere.
sure that it hasn't. It may not have crossed your Twitter timeline, but it was certainly a lot of the talk yesterday afternoon here in Atlanta.
Last one before we get you out of here, Hunt. Who you got on? Do you have your show lined up for today?
I do, tentatively. Yesterday was great. Had Tony Barhart on, Peter Burns as well. Rivers has got a lot on the docket. And then the thing that is always important here at Media Days is that you got to be flexible. There's going to be somebody walking around the hall, and then you just raise your hand and say, hey, can you sit down? And they plop down and you just start chatting. That's the way it generally goes here. So I'm confident over the course of 2 hours I'll have 3 or 4 guests. I don't know that any of them are lined up at the current juncture, but that's Rivers' job while I sit here and write a column about Garrett Nussmeier. So we'll make it happen, and we're fired up to be back on the air at 1 o'clock today.
Understood. Yeah, you got a good taste of it for Radio Row at the Super Bowl. This is a little bit more of a controlled burn, to be sure. He's Hunt Palmer. You'll catch him today, 1 to 3 on our sister station, 104.5 ESPN. Always appreciate the time, brother.
You bet. Have a good day, Brandon.
You too. It's 8:30 at Talk 107.3 FM. Let's check news, traffic, weather. When we come back, we got Dreams Come True and Off the Hook next. What? come to me before weather. Well, I guess I got to do. I want to play her weather though. So come to me and then play her weather. No bumper. Just I'm one behind on live reads. Freaking pervert. Got to take a quick second to remind you about the folks over at Vex European. You can find them online. You know what? I'm going to stop right there. Yeah, you can find them online at vexeuropean.com, but I'm going to redirect you over to their Facebook page because my guy Vinny is just straight up showing off at this point. Go to the Vex European Facebook page, scroll down a couple of posts back to, today's the 16th. Go back to July 13th of 2023. Vinny just reposted this up again. So the video's fresh on Vinny's page. It's a walkthrough before closing down, and my guy is just straight up showing off his entire shop, his entire parking lot, all the back area, just full of everything. Porsches, Ferraris, Jaguars, like exotics all over the place. You want to talk about top of the line European vehicles, just a beautiful, beautiful, darn near showroom, much less shop of what's going on back there. And here's the thing. He has got the master level technicians to work on all of it. So if you are Magnum PI, he's got you covered. But he's also got you covered if you're driving an 18-year-old Mercedes like I am. If you're driving a Jaguar, an Audi, a BMW, he's got you covered. Learn more at vexeuropean.com. Y'all are on these two here. Yeah, I'm sorry. $8:39, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Not done yet here on Mornings with Brian Haldane. We're going to welcome in the folks from Off the Hook and Dreams Come True here in just a second. But I do need to remind you about Louisiana Business Weekly. The podcast is your source for the latest in Louisiana's business landscape. I'm the host, but it's definitely not my show, definitely not my stories. Presented by Currency Bank, the business for bankers, bringing you the business podcast as well. It's a weekly show, delves into the trends, stories, and voices shaping our state's economy, and really the stories behind those voices. Listen and subscribe on all your favorite platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. You can also catch every episode at talk1073.com. All right, Cool thing going on right now as Off the Hook is partnering up with Dreams Come True of Louisiana. I want to welcome in Bailey Richard from Off the Hook and from Dreams Come True, our favorite, Miss Becky Prejean. How y'all doing this morning?
Good.
Need their mics. How y'all doing this morning?
We're doing great. I'm
Good.
Good to have you all on. Going to be talking about this partnership here, Snowballs to Go. Bailey, tell me all about it.
Yeah, so we wanted to kind of kick off our summertime campaign, and I wanted to do something fun, but also be able to give back to the community and also let the community be a part of it. So until August 20th, you can purchase a snowball to go through dine-in or drive-through, which is pretty convenient. And every snowball that we do sell, $1 is going to go back to Dreams Come True.
Okay, I'm admittedly a bit of a snowball snob, so we're gonna have to walk down that path in just a minute. Walk me through before that though, how you partnered up with Miss Becky and Dreams Come True. What brought them to the forefront?
Yeah, so actually came here one day and somebody was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of Dreams Come True?" I was looking for a partner for this campaign that also resonated with kids, and I think, there's so many good charities out there. There's so many that do good things, but how can we give straight back to Louisiana and the communities that we serve? And so I ended up meeting Becky, and I was just like hooked. I mean,
off the hook.
Off the hook. Look at that.
Right there.
And I think we take for granted of things that we do on a daily basis that we have no idea that these kids are even in our communities.
Right.
And so once I met her and heard kind of all the stories, I was like, perfect partner.
Let me bring you in on a little bit of secret here. You've messed up. Because once Miss Becky's involved, you can't tell her no. It's physically impossible because she delivers every single time. Dreams Come True. They serve kids in Louisiana who are battling and kicking butt, battling life-threatening illnesses, bringing their dreams to life. Miss Becky, how long have we been partnered up?
Oh my God, 20-something years.
Got to be close to that by now, right?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. See, it was once you're in, Bailey, you're in forever. But the thing is, it's so worth it because she delivers all the time. Give us the rewind for those, and I can't believe it would be anybody this morning, but for those who aren't familiar with, because we do the Radiothon every year. We try to take part in a number of events throughout the year.
Yes.
But for those who are uninitiated, give us the background.
Okay, for those of people that have not heard of Dreams Come True, we are a nonprofit 501c3 that grants dreams to only Louisiana children between ages 3 and 18 that is fighting daily with a life-threatening illness. So all the funds stays right here in Louisiana.
You are serving children within Louisiana when you're giving to Dreams Come True. And now when you're partnering up with Off the Hook, what gets y'all two together? You tell your version of the story.
Oh, my gosh. Well, he contacted me. Of course, I didn't even know who he was, just like people probably, he didn't know who I was. And we did a FaceTime call, and I went, oh, my God. And then we started talking, and then when we met, I've adopted him. He's my son. I mean, he is amazing to work with. I mean, the concept to think of, they wanted to raise money and then to bring us in, kids, Snowball, I think it's an awesome idea, and we're just excited.
All right. Bailey, let's talk about the snowballs a little bit. Let's get into the heart of this because it is snowball season in Louisiana all the way through at least the end of November, right? It's until it formally cools off. We remain snowball season around here. All right, the breakdown of it is what? Are y'all taking this on yourself, or is there a snowball making partner here?
Yeah, so we have a snowball making partner. At Off the Hook, we use everything Louisiana.
Yeah.
From shrimp, catfish, mayo, Lionheimer bread. We use that for the bread pudding and the fried bread pudding. So when I was thinking of, snowballs, like, well, I probably can't bring a snowball machine in here. It's going to take too long. So I started researching and found Snowballs to Go based out of Hammond.
Yep.
Went to the facility. It was great. And then I told Chris, the CEO there, like, hey, I also want to partner with Dreams Come True. He was pretty much like, all right, done. Let's do it. Leading up to also National Snowball Day is coming up on July 31st.
Yep.
You can bring your kid to any Off the Hook location. The first 100 kids will get a free snowball with activities, games, face painting, balloon artist, and totally 100% free.
All right, Snowballs to Go, total approval. Thumbs up right there. Because, I mean, there's some other ones out there that travel around, and they're basically just shaved ice or crushed ice or a glorified Slurpee. Snowballs to Go is legit.
Legit and, very high quality in a pint, so very convenient. Go through the drive-thru, grab it. You can eat half of it, get home, put it back in the freezer. You want it the next day, eat some more of it.
No chance. No, it doesn't make it to the freezer. It just doesn't. Flavors that are available. What do we got?
So we have strawberry and ice cream.
Okay.
Obviously red. We had to have red for Off the Hook.
Yep.
And I also wanted to give a ice cream flavor and color so that the parents, we're not gonna have stains everywhere.
Fair enough. Yeah, because is the ice cream a clear or is it yellow?
Yellow.
Yellow. All right. Good. Toppings? Are we adding anything on top of here? Do
We don't have any toppings yet.
No condensed milk yet.
No condensed milk.
I don't know, man.
But we might have to think about it for next year.
You're on your own when you get home.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Yeah, that's fair. There's nothing wrong with having a little condensed milk in the house. Off the Hook. Walk me through how y'all. I mean, because y'all have been in Baton Rouge for a couple of years now.
We have.
The growth, the adaptation, the acceptance within Baton Rouge, right up there off Corporate Boulevard. Y'all have plugged right in.
We have, and every community that we go to, we kind of treat it as its own and try to be as involved as we can with the high schools, the elementary schools, the foundations, even local foundations with a lot of give back nights. And so, we've been welcomed as soon as we joined the Baton Rouge community. So we couldn't be. I mean, we're grateful.
Where'd you get your start?
In Thibodeau.
Okay.
In 2012. So that was our first one there, and we have 8 locations now, and growing.
Yeah. And just right off Corporate Boulevard, if you don't know whether that's on Corporate as you're approaching College Drive, you'll find them there on the right. I've stopped by a couple times to be sure. The menu breaks down as shrimp and fish, basically.
Shrimp, fish, po' boys, but again, as everything Louisiana, we don't import anything, which I think is very important to Louisiana. In restaurants, there's a lot of brands out there in Louisiana that we import shrimp. Well, we don't have to do that.
No.
We would rather pay more for that shrimp to make sure that the guests can get a Louisiana.
Are y'all able to get certified Louisiana? I'm big on the Ag Commissioner's, push right here, because if you're using all Louisiana ingredients, can you get, as the restaurant, be certified Louisiana as well?
You can. Yeah,
okay.
You can. And then we've also, we're taking a step to attempt to work with LSU to even do testing on these shrimp.
Okay.
To make sure that, like, when you come in, we have Gulf shrimp, everywhere in the restaurant that specifically tell you that.
Wait, no, I don't want to get too far down the road because we do need to get back to snowballs in a minute. But walk me through that. What does that look like? It's like every time you'll get a fresh delivery?
Not a fresh delivery, but when we work with our partners, it's pretty much them testing these shrimp of like where these shrimp came from and like the genetics of a Gulf shrimp rather than an imported shrimp.
And when you mention everything Louisiana, you talk about the shrimp, you talk about the fish. You mentioned the Leidenheimer bread, but you also said mayonnaise, but didn't put a label on that.
Blue plate.
Blue plate. My man. Good stuff. All right, back to the snowballs. Strawberry and ice cream available. Ice cream flavored available snowballs from Snowballs to Go at Off the Hook restaurants. At Off the Hook off of Corporate. Let's go through the details one more time of how the money gets from y'all to them. It's when you purchase a snowball.
Yes, when you purchase a snowball, every dollar from every single snowball sale will go directly to Dreams Come True. You can also donate more if you would like to do that. But I do think everyone wants to be involved in a charity or something in the community, but a lot of people don't know where to go. So you can easily just, come visit Off the Hook, have good food, have a great snowball on a hot day and take a load off, and you're also giving back.
No shortage of hot days, to be sure.
That is correct.
This is a well-timed promotion at the very least. We got about a minute left. I want to give that minute to Miss Becky. What else y'all got working on right now? What else y'all go on your calendar?
Oh, God. I have a lot of dream kids. I'm working on a lot of dreams, of course. We have a fundraiser coming up in August and September, both fashion shows, one in Lafayette, one in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
And they can go on our website or Facebook and see the details. So, we pretty busy. And then, of course, I'm also promoting the Snowball. And July 31st, Snowball Day, I'm really going to push for Dream Kids to go to all the locations because we have kids throughout the state.
Well, no, absolutely. That's part of the beauty of what you do and who you serve is that we know it's all about Louisiana on both fronts, from the ingredients to the kids to the charity to the folks that are running the whole thing. They're at Off the Hook all the way through. It runs through August 20th. Bailey, Miss Becky, thank y'all so much.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Appreciate it. We got Your Money Now coming up about 30 seconds from right now, which is exactly enough time for me to remind you to download the Talk 1073 mobile app. It's a free mobile app, the Talk 1073 mobile app. You can find out what you missed each day at talk1073.com, or you can watch us live on Facebook or the Talk 1073 Baton Rouge YouTube page. All of this content, all of these outlets, brought to you by the folks over at Lake Urgent Care. Lake Urgent Care, walk-in care, and you can check them out Friday morning right here, 6:50 every Friday morning. We chat with the folks from Lake Urgent Care. All right, quick break for Your Money Now. We'll close it out next. Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Very, very good. Very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're working on a pink playhouse right now. They're
Pink Playhouse?
They brought it yesterday to her house, but we're going to be fixing it up. And Dad's going to take her away for 3 hours, and we're going to run in and decorate it.
Oh, like an extreme makeover
Yes,
situation?
yes. I
But when
can't
she's saying
wait.
a playhouse, like this ain't like a little bit.
No,
this
it's
thing is like
10,
a huge.
10 by 16. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Saw a picture. I was like, oh, I was thinking
But
like
this is in the
one that
Lafayette
could
area.
fit in your house.
But I'm
not
excited. I
bigger
love
than
dreams
most-
like that.
bedrooms. Oh yeah.
Yes. Thank y'all.
No, thank you. Appreciate it. Good to meet you, Bailey.
Y'all too.
Oh, I forgot to write down what we're doing during the outside in. Ah, my bad. You know what? Screw the outside in. Go back to cut 5. I keep saying I need to get to that, and then I don't get to it, but I need to get to it, and then I don't. Blah, blah, blah. My name is Jeff. Oh, shit. Wow. Good stuff. Been a busy show today. Man, golly, we move fast today. I appreciate everybody who's hopped on board. I appreciate the glorified crew over there in the chat. Let me hit up one quick comment going back to when we had Adam on from Forum 225. Talk about what do you want to see in downtown Baton Rouge? What do you want to see on the face of Baton Rouge? Jeb says a pedestrian bridge across the river would be nice. Oh, my God, no. Love you, Jeb, but you want to talk about a destination for suicide. You can be a pedestrian. I mean, you'd have to, like, have that thing on lock 24/7. They put nets around the Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, my word. I'm all about Baton Rouge being a destination, but not for that. Whew. Maybe he meant River Road and not the river itself. No, I can go with River Road. We need at least two of them over the road. Two of them to take you over River Road, then across the railroad tracks and land the pedestrian bridge down on the other side. Whew, man, I don't know. Bold. But that's why we take suggestions, though. That's awesome stuff. I need to make sure I have time to do everything I need to do. I do need to remind you about the folks over at Breck. One of the many great parks is, of course, Liberty Lagoon, who, by the way, announced new ticket options and prices yesterday. Breck announced, actually, they made the announcement last Friday that Liberty Lagoon would split the day into two sessions. Session 1 runs from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Session 2 goes from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. This will get you out of the sun at the hottest part of the day for at least an hour. In the initial policy entry into the park, they had $12 for the start of both sessions. If you want to learn more, check out breck.org, breck.org. Look up their facilities. You'll find it there. And if you're not in the Liberty Lagoon, they can let it ride with any of the other number of facilities they've got over at breck.org. We're supposed to do the outside in here, and I kind of want to blow it out because we have 2 full minutes, and there's something I haven't been able to cover since Monday. Monday, Jeff Reynolds, the executive director of the Louisiana Rural Hospital Coalition, was the guest at the press club, the Baton Rouge Press Club. And we played a couple sound bites yesterday, and I did so a little bit more during the Moon Griffon show when I filled in yesterday. But one that I haven't gotten to yet is Jeff's take on the talking about rural hospitals. There's 49 of them in his coalition. And he was asked straight up, do you think rural hospitals in Louisiana are going to close as a result of the big, beautiful bill? And he said unequivocally, no, I don't think they're going to close. And then he explained why.
It really comes down to timing. Once we're 3 to 4 years out, that's what it's going to be before we start seeing potential funding reductions. This is potential funding increases during the same time. It's hard for me to predict. I'm not going to sit up here and say what's going to happen 4 years from now because I just don't know. So that's really because most of these reductions that I've been talking about in the out years, 3-4 years out, we are going to have additional $150 million over the next 5 years. So for the next 4 or 5 years, it's hard for me to say anything's materially changed that would cause a rural hospital to shut down. Once we get 4 or 5 years out, it's up for debate, but that's a long ways, and there will be a lot of things that change between now and then. So that's why I'm sort of saying my answer is really that 3 to 5 years is what I'm talking about when I say that.
Because we got to get out of here. This discussion is just beginning. There's going to be so much more to drop on this in the next couple days. But for right now, we're done. See y'all tomorrow. All right, guys, I got to bounce. Big day tomorrow. We will see you then.